Is this Mars?
No.
Is this Mars?
No. Are these real photos?
Is this Mars?
No. Are these real photos, Dave?
These are real photos of Devon Island.
Shut up.
Right?
What is this?
Is this Mars?
No.
The University of Arizona, JPL. What was this one? This is all Devon Island, but it looks just like Mars.
A Mars photo.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on this Devon Island.
This is Devon Island, and I added the vanilla sky.
I see.
Right?
Gosh, you can easily
and then
put a rover
I added
on
this
there.
background here. I added this back. I mean, this. Yeah. I did this.
Yeah. Dave went to Mars, guys. He took a photo and brought us back. But I mean, Dave, it makes sense because like with everything else that you've seen that, NASA, I mean, wait a minute, who controls Hollywood? What if I told you that everything you know is just the beginning? Beyond the veil of the ordinary lies a realm of hidden knowledge, ancient wisdom, and untapped potential. A place where consciousness expands, reality bends, and the impossible becomes possible. You weren't meant to stay asleep. You were meant to awaken. Open your mind, remember who you truly are, and step with me beyond the frequency 369. Hey, before we start the episode, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. You want to make a comment? Go for it. It's America. If you catch me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit me with those 5 stars. I appreciate the support. Let's start the show. Welcome back to Beyond the Frequency 369. I'm your host, Cesar Pagan, and my guest today is David Weiss, also known as Flat Earth Dave. A former corporate professional turned full-time truth seeker and content creator. He's the host of the Flat Earth Podcast, a passionate voice in the Flat Earth community, and the creator of the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Whether you agree or disagree with his views, he challenges conventional thinking and invites us to question what we've been taught. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Caesar. Thanks for having me. Love an intelligent conversation. I don't even know your stance on flat Earth or not, but I'm sure you have a rational mind. And by the end of this, you'll be either really upset or really happy. I'm not sure.
I love it. Dave, I think that's now, first of all, I ran into you through social media. Okay. So I seen clips here and there. And then finally I'm just like, let me check out at least one of these interviews because you have tons of them out there. And I love your content. I love what you're talking about, Dave, because, people have a general, their own understanding of the whole, what is a flat earther or what is flat earth and things like that. And I love that somebody's actually doing the work to really clarify and explain what that is and what that means to people within the community. But overall, I like the fact that we are able to just have conversations about what our reality, our situation, our world that we live in. And you're one of those key players. So I had to have a conversation with you and you're here today and I'm so happy about it.
All right. Awesome. No, as this says, the Globers look at this and they're like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Yeah, we agree. We agree on that. This is ridiculous. We're not a disk and these aren't planets. It's all wrong. You have to completely start with a clean slate. And once you start looking, when you Google flat Earth, this is what Google gives you. You probably know, I'm not sure. I mean, you seem like a truth seeker, right? That whatever Google feeds you, that's a good sign that it's not true. Okay. So they want you to think that this is what flat Earth is. This is the dumbest thing ever. Right. Nobody believes that. That's mixing a fake flat Earth in a fake heliocentric or space cosmology. When the truth is, here's our realm. Here's a balloon at 120,000 feet. Right. The Earth is supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour below this balloon. Been up there for 3.5 hours, right?
Wow.
Now, you got to remember, they say that the Earth is spinning to the east. That's why the sun rises, in the east, because it's spinning to the east, and that's in the west. This balloon went up for 3.5 hours. Where should it land? If it took off from Arizona, let's say, Earth is spinning to the east at 1,000 miles an hour. Where should it land?
I'm on the other side, I guess. I don't know.
In the ocean. It should land out in
In
the
the
ocean.
ocean.
It should land out near Hawaii,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this balloon landed east of where it took off. So not only did it disconnect from the spinning Earth, it outran the spin. So the Earth is spinning to the east. It outran it and landed in front of where it took off.
I got you.
That's
I got you.
impossible. That's what I say is impossible.
I love.
And hey, Caesar, let me ask you another question. You were born today. You know nothing. You know nothing about anything. Okay, you have zero fake information, zero real information. You have nothing. Okay, how far away is this ball of light?
If I have no information,
you have no information on anything other than you played catch with somebody outside a little while ago, so you can tell distances and perspective.
Where would I think it is?
How far is this light?
I mean, right above me.
Yeah, well, this light appears to be right above this cloudy area, this area here, because it's there's a hot spot. And if you look, over here, it's less light. So it seems to be a local light, just not too much higher than this balloon.
Like a flashlight, it looks like a flashlight to me,
that's
in a dark room.
That's the sun. And the heliocentric sun is a thing that defies natural law. It is helium and hydrogen in a space vacuum. When you have gas, it violently fills the available space. Except in space, it collapses upon itself and makes gravitational balls, right? That is the most ridiculous thing ever. And the reason you can't figure it out isn't because you're stupid. It's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah,
and
right.
People are just like, well, I've always been told that the Earth is a spinning ball, and I don't really know much about it, but it has to be true because it's in the movies, it's in the news, it's everywhere. There's just globes everywhere, and that's what everyone thinks. So therefore, it must be true, right? But when people that fight against flat Earth, the hardest are the ones that don't know anything. How much have you looked into flat Earth? A little bit.
I haven't looked into much of anything. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
So the Earth's you're on the globe side. Let's say you're on the globe side. How fast does the Earth spin at the equator? Now you should know this because I did say it like 2 minutes ago.
I don't know, 600,000 and some change.
1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
At
the Earth
equator,
is about
okay.
24,901 miles around. It spins once per day, so it's about just over 1,000 miles an hour to make one revolution. So if you were hovering above the Earth and the Earth was spinning below you, the land would be going from west to east at 1,000 miles an hour. Have you ever seen anything go 1,000 miles an hour?
No, I haven't.
Airplanes fly 500 miles an hour, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So twice the speed of a jetliner, right?
That's wild.
That's the spin. Now let's talk about the orbit. We're orbiting. They told us we're orbiting on the sun, right? And is an orbit a straight line or is it a curved path?
I thought it's a curved path.
It's a curved path. You're right. It is.
Okay.
So if you were in a car or a bus or an airplane and it's going perfectly straight at any speed you want, windows are closed, top is, you're sealed, you'd barely feel the motion, right?
Right.
Because you're going at a constant speed. But if that car takes a turn to the left or to the right,
you're gonna
feel that. You're gonna feel that turn off of your tangential path, off that tangent, is gonna feel like acceleration pushing you in the other direction. So we're speeding up and slowing down a little bit. We're curving the whole time. We're orbiting the sun at 66,600 miles an hour on average. Isn't that a funny number?
That's
okay.
Wild. Okay, that's wild. Yeah.
And then wait, it gets worse. They forget to tell you in school that the sun is also traveling. This is what they show us, but they don't tell us that the sun is flying through the cosmos at 500,000 miles per hour.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. All they tell you is just that here's the sun and here's all the planets going around it. That's it.
Yeah. So it's traveling. The sun travels 4.4 billion, that's a big number, miles per year, never to return where it was before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all of the planets are just keeping up perfect pace on a flat plane, equal with it. All the planets orbit the sun, right? Isn't that what they tell us? Okay. So let's just put this into context for you. right? This is NASA's hypersonic sled track. Whoops, let's go with the other one. Hold on. Right?
That's
Hypersonic sled track. It's a rocket sled. It's going to go by a Mach 8.6. Ready? Watch. Didn't even see it, right?
that's it.
And if you look it up, hypersonic sled track on YouTube, the sound is shocking. It's literally like the sound wave rips through your skin, right?
Really?
Yeah. So that's 8.6 times the speed of sound. Guess what? We're orbiting 10 times faster than that. The Earth, the Earth. Remember the Earth? It's a lumpy rock surrounded by curved, smooth water, surrounded by high pressure air, without a container, adjacent to a void of no pressure that we call space. This is a violation of common sense, of gas laws, of natural law. It's a violation of intelligence. It's a violation of everything. So 10 times faster around the sun, 100 times faster chasing the sun, right? And that's a bunch of nonsense. But
it's damn near disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. When you go out into nature, you see this, and this is supposed to be going on, right? Right. When you go out, when you go out into nature and see something like this, what does your common sense, your God-given common sense tell you versus the nonsense that you were taught?
Well, my common sense is that we're like just still.
If you had a plate of water in that car, we're going on a perfectly straight road, great suspension, cruise control set at 100 miles an hour, and you got a dinner plate and filled it with water, no problem, right? If that car take the slightest turn, left or right, what happens to the water?
The water starts moving,
Yeah, it'll go right off the plate, right?
Yeah.
We're spinning, twirling, and whirling in 4 different directions at once, and look at this lake.
But did like science explain why that is, why the water's still? Are they saying it's like, I don't know. Are they saying like it's gravity that's holding it down so still? I mean, what are they saying these days?
They're saying, well, one thing they say is, well, once you're going that speed, you don't notice it. Like when you're in an airplane, you could drink a glass of water and go to the bathroom, right? I said, oh, you want to compare an airplane? Okay. I love when they use airplanes because everything about airplanes proves the earth is flat. Well, first, the airplane's going 500 miles an hour. The slowest motion of the earth is the spin. It's 1,000 miles an hour. Okay. So we double the speed of the airplane, and the earth doesn't have a protective shell holding the air in. So we have to take off the outside of the airplane. So now you're in an airplane going twice the speed. There's no outside shell. Wait a minute. The spin of the earth is curving. It's not a straight line. It's always curving. So at 1,000 miles an hour, that airplane has to drop down at a mile per minute. So that airplane's got a nosedive at a mile per minute to follow the curve.
Right.
Can you drink your water now? Do you even need to go to the bathroom? Because you probably already went. Okay.
You already went. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And wait, that's the slowest motion.
Is
the
it?
slowest, right? We're orbiting at 66,000. You can't fathom that speed. You can't fathom Mach 8.6, okay? And 66 miles per hour, you cannot fathom it. So I can't even try to explain it.
So let me ask you this, Dave. Why do you think that they have wrote this narrative that we are spinning, that we're moving across the galaxy? Just let's start off with that. Why do you think that they say this makes sense?
I can only speculate, but I have a damn good idea on why they do it. And I think the amount of evidence is beyond strong. They're hiding God from you. They're hiding that we're at the center of creation. They're hiding more resources. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding more land. They're hiding other civilizations. They're hiding resources. There's mining precious metals in Antarctica on secret bases there. We have whistleblowers telling us all sorts of stuff, right? They're mining so much stuff there. And, we're told Antarctica is pristine. You can't drop a cigarette butt there. They dig giant holes and they pour all their garbage in it and all of their refuse in it and their waste from the outhouses. And then they fill up the hole and dig another one at these bases. Okay. Right. It's crazy what's going on in Antarctica. And there's more, but we don't need to go to Antarctica to prove the shape of the earth because we can measure. There is no curvature. If something doesn't curve, then it's what?
If it doesn't curve, it's a straight line, or it's straight.
If something doesn't curve, if something has no curvature, then it's a
straight line.
It's flat. Yeah.
It's flat. Okay.
It's flat. And if something doesn't move, then it's what?
if it doesn't move, it's still
It's
it's
stationary.
stationary. Yeah.
There is no curvature, there is no movement, and any test for curvature or axial rotation has proven the opposite, right? So jumping forward, we live in this living system. Let me go here. So this is how I envision the Earth. And again, anything above our heads that we can't touch is just a theory. All right. I think we live in this massive toroidal field. All of the stars are fixed in the heavens above. And in this toroidal field, we have the wandering stars, also called planets. They do their own little patterns. We live on this dielectric plane right here in the middle. That's where we're experiencing physical reality. So I'd say this plane here is 1% of the system. So I'm only talking about 1% of the system. The rest, I agree, it's unknown. And we're trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
figure it out. I'm trying
Are
to
you
figure out.
saying so this disc that we're looking at here, this is the plane that you're saying that we exist on, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if I don't think it terminates here. I think it keeps on going. I think
Okay.
my personal opinion is that we live on what I might call an extended or infinite plane, and inside that plane there's this toroidal field, and we live inside the system. Maybe there's other systems like that across the plane too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If there's
yeah.
a whole bunch, and again, we don't need to speculate what's not what we can't measure and touch and see to prove the shape of the Earth, but it is interesting to speculate sometimes.
Absolutely. And again, for those that don't know what a toroidal field is, this the electric magnetic field that kind of holds everything in the on the planet? Is that what that
Yeah,
is?
well, we live in this electrical system. We're electrical beings. Everything has electrostatic charge to it. I don't think that we can live outside of this system. And so everything is alive. Wait till you get it. The rabbit holes of today are going to be so deep for
I love
everybody.
it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm 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 so with it. And Dave, let me ask. Well, first of all, folks, not for those of you that don't know, Dave and I have not met. Okay, I know Dave. I know Dave like how you may know Dave, like when you see him on YouTube and things like that. So we're actually right now. This is the first conversation that we're having here. So Dave probably doesn't know a whole lot about me too. But Dave, just so you know, so that way you know how this conversation goes. Is I'm not a religious guy. I'm more of a spiritual guy.
Based
I'm not a flat earth guy. I'm not even a round earth guy. Okay. I am everything to me is about consciousness
yeah.
and spirituality and everything. So and
That's
also
what this place is more that than
yeah,
physical. It's more that than physical. But here's
yeah,
one thing. One thing we're going to change today. You're all of what you said, but you're definitely not a physical lumpy rock ball, wet spinning rock glober. Okay?
no,
That's
yeah,
not happening. Okay?
yeah, that's not
It's
happening.
something else. And I say anyone that says, I don't know, I don't think we live on a globe, we're all on the same team. Whether you think it's a simulation, extended plane, dome plane, whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're all on the same team. We're all trying to figure it out. But I say we have this incredible connection. We have telepathic powers that they've hidden from us. We have this connection with everything, and everything's alive, from the trees to the rocks, everything, right? But the way they imprison us is they tell us we live on a globe, which it just imprisons our mind. And there's limited resources, and asteroids are going to kill us, and we're overpopulated. That's another lie. I think it's less than 2 billion people on Earth.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
Dave. Dave, that's a big statement. Really, you
y-
think there's less than two
dude,
two
wait,
billion?
yeah, go. I'll tell you the name of it. I'll link you the video.
Okay, okay,
There's some population videos, but if you look
okay.
at it, like I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but China, which is supposed to have like 3.5 billion people, if you take the top, I think it's 80 cities, and you take their population, it's like 800 million. So now you have to tell me there's like 2 billion people living in the outskirts, spread out in the prairie there. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And you do that with all the countries in the world, none of it adds up. And when I say 2 billion, I'm going to take the under. Okay. I'll take the under. If I set the over under at 2 billion, I'm taking the
Yeah.
under.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. And folks, just so you know, when he's making a comment about how we live in prison, for those of you that are just listening on Spotify, Spreaker, or Apple, the reason that I say that I love this is because he has a picture of a person and then he just switched the person's head to like a helmet, but the helmet of the Earth. So meaning like
Yeah,
our
but the
brains.
person had energy beams going out
Yeah,
into the cosmos. So it's one of those
exactly.
you just put spiritual mind in YouTube in Google, and then I put the globe over it, and it literally
Yeah,
imprisoned.
yeah,
It's a prison for your mind. Are you familiar with Stonehenge?
I am. Talk to
Okay,
me about it. Yeah.
yeah. So Stonehenge was in Georgia in the United States, and it has 10 commandments on it. Not the 10 commandments, 10 commandments for the New World Order. The first one is never let the population rise over 500 million again. Right?
What?
Oh, you don't know that? Go look up
No, no,
that's
no, no, no,
number
no.
one.
Wait,
Never
wait,
let
wait, wait, wait. Let's go. Let's process this for folks that are driving their car and just say what I said. Like, what the hell? Okay, the Stonehenge, right?
no. I'm not Stonehenge. Did I say Stonehenge? I meant
Yeah,
Georgia
yeah.
Guidestones. The
Okay,
Georgia Guidestones.
okay.
My bad. But dude, wait, ready for this? Stonehenge
Yeah.
is fake. It was built in the 1950s.
No, they.
I have video of it being built with cranes and everything. It was built in the
My
1950s.
Dave. How? Wait. How is it that that has been lost to people?
Dude, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. But let's go back to the
Okay.
Georgia Guidestones. There's
Yes,
10
please.
commandments on there. Are you familiar with the Georgia Guidestones?
I'm not.
So in 1981, this guy funded this very expensive um, monument in Georgia. He bought a piece of land, they had these engravings done, and the engravings are done in 10 different languages. And there's 10 commandments. I think it's 10. And the first one is never let the population rise over 500 million again. Well, that's a drop from almost 8.5 billion. That's a huge drop. But hey, if I'm right, that's only like 1.5 billion. That's only like a 60% drop instead of
Yeah,
like,
you're
hey,
close.
yeah, it's much better. It's not nearly as bad. Okay. Not nearly as bad. But the beautiful thing about the Georgia Guidestones was it was set up with these 4 outer pillars and then 1 center pillar. And there was a little hole in the center pillar, like the thickness of a straw. And when you put your eye up to it, any time of year, it lines up with Polaris. You know what Polaris is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Polaris is
yeah.
our North Star. Where are you? You're in the US, right?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. So you
Yeah.
can look up and see Polaris, right? No problem. The Big Dipper points to it. Well, Polaris is right there, right? And you do a time lapse, it's right there. Now here's the question I have. Orbiting, whirling, and twirling,
I see
how
where
the
you're going.
hell does Polaris stay in there for 2 seconds?
Yeah,
Right?
I see
Well,
where you're going.
the globe answer is it's so far away that parallax, it doesn't matter that we're moving 4.5 billion miles a year for hundreds of years. It's so far away, there's no parallax. Okay, I want to use 2 words, frigging ridiculous, but what I really mean is another
Yeah.
F word and another R word, okay?
Yeah.
All right? Okay? It's frigging ridiculous. But here's another thing. They also tell us why the Earth is spinning, orbiting, and rocketing, and still lines up with Polaris. Okay, cool story, bro. It's also wobbling. The pole is wobbling, and it wobbles 1 degree every 76 years. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So the wobble, that's massive, right? And it was built in 1981. So it's been up for over 40 years. And 1 degree in the sky is if you put 3 full moons next to each other, that's 1 degree. Well, it would have been 1.5 full moons. That's what Polaris would have been way out of the hole, but it was still there right in the center of the hole.
It's always been
So
there.
we
Yeah.
started making videos. Going, hey, this is rock solid evidence that the Earth is not moving, right? And backstory, the Giza pyramid has a shaft that points at Polaris, right? The North Star. And the Egyptologists go, oh, no, no, no. Back then when it was built, it was pointing towards the North Star then, Thuban, 2,000 years ago. And in 2,000 years from now, we'll be pointing towards another star. Cool story, bro, right? It just happens to be, it's so stupid. But we started making these videos, it started getting attention, and then bam, a terrorist blew up the Georgia Guidestones with a missile.
They what?
A terrorist blew up the Georgia Guidestones. Within 3 hours, bulldozers were there, took the entire thing down, and there was a time capsule, stole the time capsule, no friggin' investigation.
What? How long ago was this?
This was like last year or 2 years ago.
Wow. Wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So I have another prediction.
Talk
Are
to
you
me.
familiar? Are you familiar with Coral Castle
I am not, but
in
I'm about
Florida?
to
Come
be.
on, Coral Castle. Edward Lee Scallon built this castle by himself, like a 98-pound guy, and he was able to move all of these stones by himself. He had a revolving door, 11 tons that you can push with one finger. Built it himself. He built
Wow.
everything himself, right? And he supposedly had the Tesla's secret, the secret of the pyramids, whatever. But they recently discovered, maybe not that recent, but pretty recent, that this hole up here in this tower, there's a wire in there, a cross wire, and there's a viewing, this crosswire right here. And then there's a viewing spot where you look through a hole on this thing. And when you look up at it, it shows you where Polaris is. And then when it's in this quadrant, it's winter, spring, summer, right? And then fall, right? But Polaris makes a tiny little circle. Polaris stays stationary in the sky, but if you do a time lapse, it actually does make a very small circle. This is the very small circle. This is how accurate it is. This
That
is
little space right there?
yeah.
This
So
little area?
yeah. So when you look at it, if Polaris is here, it means
Yeah.
it's first quarter of the year, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, right?
Okay.
It's that accurate. So my prediction is something's going to happen to Coral Castle.
How long
right?
ago did he build this?
This was built long time ago, decades. Yeah.
You just predicted someone's murder.
No, he's dead. He's dead.
Oh, he's
long
dead. Oh, okay.
He's
Okay,
dead.
he's
But
dead.
something's
All
going to
right.
happen. This thing's going to fall over,
This
or
thing,
the wire.
yeah.
The wire is going to get ripped out, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
first, let's say you have how do you even line this thing up? How do you do it? With
Great
today's modern
question.
equipment? Yeah. How
You
do
must
do it?
have to have ancient knowledge or something.
Yeah.
Ancient tech,
Yeah.
But with a wire, wow.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is a monument somewhere in the South, and every year on 11/11 at 11:11 a.m., the sun lines up with all the holes and then lights up. It's a war memorial. It lights up a perfect circle.
That's
on this thing.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. But remember, we're orbiting, twisting, and whirling and twirling and going in all different directions, right? How is that possible, right?
How?
Orbits are what holds us in orbit? What's the word? You know it. You said it before. It begins with a G.
Gravity.
What holds us? Gravity.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
do you know what the three body problem is? Not the television show.
I was gonna say that. I don't.
So the three body problem. The three body problem is you can take the world's best supercomputer and you can say, all right, I got a sun, it's got this much gravity, and I got a planet, it's got this much gravity, and put them in orbit, and that computer will figure out what it's going to do to the second forever, no problem. But then you add one more body in there, either a moon or a planet or another star, whatever, and the thing goes into what we call chaos mode. So here's three bodies the same size that have gravity, and they're the same size. So that makes it even less chaotic, right? Nothing's the same size, right? And after a short period of time, it goes into just pure chaos mode, and you never know what it's going to do next, and no computer in the world can figure it out. Okay? But somehow, all of the planets and all of the meteors and all of the moons and all of the everything in our solar system works perfectly.
I'm flabbergasted right now.
To believe that all of the planets, we had a planetary lineup just a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. We should all be dead. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Wait, if you look up how much of the matter does the sun take in our solar system? It's 99%. Okay.
99%.
99%. So the question is, how does helium and hydrogen condense into a ball, burn 640 billion tons a day for millions of years and never change size, mass, or anything? How does the gravity from helium and hydrogen that defy gravity on Earth hold on to Pluto and Neptune and Saturn and Jupiter, but ignore our moon? When our moon comes around the Earth towards the sun, shouldn't it speed up? Maybe get pulled away?
Yeah.
Right? How does gravity be so selective?
Yeah.
It's a bending of space-time, David. You know what the bending of space-time is? Nobody knows. It's stupid is what it is, okay? Nobody knows. It's a made-up nonsense, right? It's made-up nonsense.
That is, Dave, I got to processing all of this, and it's so refreshing right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Here's the thing
yeah.
I tell people. Don't believe anything I say. Don't believe anything I say.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair.
You need to go verify this stuff yourself. That's what I did. When I heard about this, I was banning people from my Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Podcast Facebook page for suggesting that I look at flat Earth. Right?
Yeah.
Dumbest thing ever, dumbest thing ever, dumbest thing ever. And then Sophia Smallstorm, another researcher that I respect a lot, did a lot of great documentaries. She's like, Dave, you got to look into it. And I was like, mother effer. And I for 2 weeks I tried to debunk it, and then I went out. I bought a super zoom camera, and I went out and I started zooming in on things that should be behind the physical curve, and I gave it every benefit of the doubt, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I'm going to give people is an opportunity to not be lazy, because check this out. People want to be lazy, and it's not a bad thing. You want to find the most efficient way to do things, right? Right now, if you dropped your pen, are you going to get up out of your chair? Are you going to grab it with your foot and then pick it up with your two fingers,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Whatever's the
Right.
easiest way. And that's good. Be efficient. But, but, but you can have a choice. You can believe what you're told. Okay. Like I'm in Connecticut. Okay. Where am I?
You say you're in Connecticut.
Okay. Do you believe it?
I believe your truth.
Okay. I'm telling you the truth. Do you believe I'm in Connecticut?
Yeah.
I swear I'm in Connecticut. Do you believe I'm in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
know I'm in Connecticut?
I don't know that you're in
You
Connecticut.
don't know it. You believe. Belief is the lazy man's knowing. Knowing takes time. So now you got to go on my Facebook. You got to find my friends. You got to pull the metadata off of some of my pictures. You got to verify them. You're like, he's been there. I've looked at different landmarks. You got to take time. But you're not going to do that because it's not worth it. Basically, I used to be the president of the United States. So basically, you have stored the information that I am in Connecticut as probably true. No need to check. Don't really care. Not going to make a difference. But he's probably there. He's got that little New York accent. He must be close to New York, right? And so you store that as true. But am I the president of the United States? Was I ever the president of the United States? I used to be the president of the United States. I told you a minute ago, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, do you need to go verify that? Do you need to go take the time and verify if that's true or not?
Do I need to? No,
Yeah,
I
do
don't.
you need to? Okay, was I president of the United States?
No,
Do you believe there's a possibility that maybe I was?
I don't.
Okay, so we are making judgments on things all of the time, storing them. That one's so ridiculous that you don't even need to check. I'm not going to go
Right.
Google because I don't need to, right? But you would probably bet a large amount of money towards a small amount of money that I wasn't the president of the United States, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because it's easy bet. Like, hey, would you bet $1,000 that I am? I don't know how to say it. Like, there's no odds that would make you change your mind. That would make you take okay, maybe he was. Let me see if I can get the money. You take the dollar over the $1,000. Okay.
Right. Right.
So where was I going with that? The checking thing. So our whole life we were taught that the Earth is a globe before we had the ability to think. We're told things before we have the ability to think, and all of the programming, all the school, all the books, all the movies, the news, cartoons, Disney, everything. It's all about globe programming. Why? Right? And it's such a foundation. It's such a foundation of our thoughts that that people just like, I'm not even going to check, because if you want to check, you have to literally retool everything the foundation of your world. And what happens when you take the ball away from a baby, right? Baby's not happy. Well, guess what we are? We're just big baby ball loving religious globe cult zealots.
Dave, Dave, hold on. I gotta ask you, were you a comedian sometime in the past?
I find myself very funny. My wife calls me Second Answer Dave, because whenever anyone asks me a question, the first answer is literally for my own humor. And if I can make you laugh too, great.
Oh my
Right?
gosh. Because I'm gonna tell you this is like, not only is this informative, but it's hilarious too, because you throw
Here's
it
the
in there.
thing, dude. Here's the thing, Caesar. The globe is so ridiculous. That's the R word.
Yeah,
okay?
so freaking ridiculous.
It's so
as you said.
freaking ridiculous
Yeah.
that it's funny. It's literally
is.
funny. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you get there, it's like, here's one thing that all flat earthers have in common. We look back and go, how the hell did we ever believe in the globe? Like you look back and you want to kick yourself in the ass going, how did I ever believe that nonsense? Because every single thing about it. Did you watch Elon's rescue of the friggin' ISS
Oh my
astronauts?
gosh. You know what? Don't get me started with that. But you know what? Since we're on it, Dave, oh my
So
gosh.
bad.
Yeah, it's so bad because okay, let me ask you this, Dave. So they were supposed to be there for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden they're there for like, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months, whatever the case is. Like, we couldn't get them this whole time. Like,
Yeah, and I think there was other astronauts coming and going at the same time that they were up
yeah,
there. And the one guy, he's still fat after 6 months, right? And would they ever let a friggin' Methuselah with a hair like that on a space station where everything's floating around?
a lot of hair because that's dangerous, right? They usually will like try to like cut it or contain it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
I mean, and then these women up there, they have full makeup on. They can't take showers. They can only sponge bath. They get one washcloth a week. They always have crisp, fresh shirts matching, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's so
Played
freaking
out.
stupid. It's so
What?
stupid.
Let me ask you this though regarding the whole space thing because I've been thinking about this for a while. You know those videos that they put out there where astronauts are training underwater,
Oh, yeah.
right? They have this like simulated ISS inside this big pool of water and things like that. Like, I always thought that, and I want to know your opinion on this. I always thought that you only train in the element that you're about to get into. So, like, there's a couple of folks out there that believe that space is not a vacuum, but it's, you know, well, part of it is water. What have you heard anything like that?
I believe that also.
Okay.
I believe that also. On
Okay.
the ISS, this
Yeah.
is in 1999. They all had Santa hats, and look at the pom poms; they're all down. But in 2023, the gravity was turned off, I guess, and all the pom poms are up. Right?
Wow.
Kind of just weird, right?
Wow.
Kind of just weird.
Very cool. Very cool on that one.
Yeah, there's so many things. I mean, look at the boots. Look at these are like LL Bean boots. Where's the airtight?
Yeah.
Like they're just in these.
They have a zipper. They have a
I
zipper.
I wore those boots to a music festival. Okay, it's so stupid. Prada is now making their suits, right? Right, and
Yeah.
then in 1969, it took 3 days to go to the moon in this bad boy, right? It
Yeah.
took
Yeah.
6 days to go to the moon in 2022 with the
Huh.
Artemis.
Interesting.
Okay, there's it's so stupid.
Well, I always thought it was kind of weird, like, you know, for when the whole Neil Armstrong stuff, like how he was able to get past the what's that called, that radiation belt and stuff out
The
there.
Van Allen radiation belt, right?
Yeah.
They can't even get their story straight. One of the astronauts was being interviewed about it. He goes, "Oh, we never went through it." He goes, "Well, yeah, you went through it." And he's like, "Okay, we went through it. I don't know. I'm just a passenger, right?"
I was just there.
Here they are in a pool,
Yeah.
and then you
Those.
flip on the green screen, and there they are in
Yeah.
space. Dude, let me
Yes.
ask you a question. You
Please.
watch these spacewalks. They're out there floating around. They got these big gloves on. First, you have to remember if you are wearing a pressurized suit in a vacuum, you're going to explode
Yeah.
like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Okay, but for some reason their suits don't expand to the You put your hand in a vacuum chamber, like in a glove in a vacuum chamber. You can't even move your hand because the pressure is so
Right.
crazy. But they
Right.
don't have that issue. But they're out there for 8 hours. What are they doing? Like, are they tightening a nut or loosening a nut? That's all they're doing out there.
That's why and they're going very slow. And like, I'm thinking with these big giant gloves, how are you grabbing these very intricate tools? Like, you know?
Yeah. It's beyond, it's the dumbest thing ever, right? Here, and then if you watch, like when they show this stuff, you watch, sometimes you see the earth will flex as it goes through the fisheye lens. It goes through convex to convex to non-convex.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what are they doing out there? They're traveling at 17,000 miles an hour,
Right.
right? And
Right.
what are they doing? I
Yeah.
could fake this stuff better than they do, right?
Yeah. I mean, like the CGI is so great these days that we think Iron Man's real, you know? So
It's getting tough. It's getting tougher. But they're always moving around. And if you watch the edge of the earth here, it'll flatten out as it goes towards the middle. But they're sometimes careful about not letting it get to the middle. Let me just say, Yeah, and they just have that thing is gonna save them. They're going falling around the Earth, right?
Yeah.
And you know that there's in gravity, but they're going at the exact speed where their drop rate matches the curve of the Earth. Well, if you ask Chat GPT, if something's free falling and there's no air to resist it, will it accelerate? And the answer is absolutely all the time. So why isn't the ISS accelerating every second of every day?
Wow.
It's free falling with no friction.
Yeah. It's just there.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
unless it's in a pool of water.
Well, and again, as you said, the medium that you're going into in a pool of water, the water's trying to get in your suit. In space, the air is trying to get out of your suit.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the guy, he's putting his hand into a glove that's in a vacuum. Let me just fast forward here. So he puts his hand in there, and then he's moving his hand around right in that glove. Imagine trying to do work with that glove. They turn on the vacuum, and it gets to the point where he can't even move his hand. It's hard. It's a little hard
Wow.
to.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can't even
yeah.
move it because the vacuum is pulling the
It's pulling.
glove so tight, he can't even move it. Right?
So
But these
what
guys
he's
are walking
saying,
around in their snowboarding suits, and there's no
right?
pressure.
And there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's interesting because even Joe Blow in his on his driveway can create something to prove that what's happening out there isn't right, and then people are just still saying, "Oh, this guy's a nut job. What does he know about engineering and vacuums and things like that?" Is that your cat?
Is that my cat?
I don't know. I don't know, Dave.
Is that my cat?
Is
Go
that a
away.
real cat?
Okay. So what I'm saying is I have zero
Illusions.
budget. NASA gets $84 million a day of your money.
My gosh, that's funny,
Right?
Dave. I have a question for you because oh my
Good.
gosh, Dave, what was the exact moment that shattered your whole belief on the whole global model situation?
So I was researching, and Boats Over the Horizon was one that really got me. And right at that time, Nikon had come out with their P900 super zoom camera, and they call it the Flat Earth Killer. So I bought it. I bought an expensive tripod. I went down to the beach. I had a perfect, cool, flat, calm, no humidity day. And I zoomed in on a buoy over 10 miles away. And I could see the surface of the water beyond the buoy. That buoy should have been behind over 60 feet of curvature. 60 feet.
And that's where you said, okay, something's
And so I said,
right here.
well, the curvature formula must be wrong. The curvature formula, it's got to be wrong. And I went and I looked at the debunking sites, and they're like, well, no, it's not the curvature, it's half. You're half on one side of the hump, and the person's on the other half. Okay, so that would make it 30 plus feet of curvature. The buoy's not 30 feet tall. I still see it. Like, well, there's refraction also. It's refracting up. And things refract up to the perfect level. Okay. The whole refraction thing. Let me demonstrate that for you.
Yeah, please.
So large bodies of water at rest lie flat. When it's cold, they freeze flat. You ever been on a lake? It's frozen. It's flat. Ice is flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Got a camera 6 inches off the ice. We put these 4 lights out here at 8, 7, 6, and 5 miles away. According to globe math, curvature of the globe, giving the globe the benefit of the doubt, and adding 50% magical glober religious refraction, right? This light should be 30 feet behind the curve, 22, 15, and 9 feet. It's really closer to 45 feet, okay? But we're giving them every benefit of the doubt because we can, all right? So what are the two choices? A, the camera's 6 inches off the ice, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles away, right? Or the camera is 6 inches off the ice, and less than a mile away is the tangent of the Earth curve, because it would be less than a mile away. There's 8 inches per mile, so we're 6 inches. So, and then all of these lights are refracting up exactly to the tangent of this camera on the Earth. Not higher, not lower. They refract up exactly to the tangent. It's too cool refraction, dude, because this one's refracting up, what was the number? 30, 35 feet or 30 feet?
Yeah.
That's 22 feet, 15 feet, 8 feet. They're all refracting up, whatever the number is. They're all refracting up magically. Everything refracts to eye level. And then somehow we can see beyond, right? This was one of
Yeah.
the first early on pictures. We call it the Black Swan towers. That way, the oil platforms, and we know exactly their distance. This camera is like less than a foot off the water. Not only can we see the water here, where there should be 59 feet of curvature,
Wow. Okay.
59 feet, we can see the surface of the water for miles beyond it.
Wow. We shouldn't even be able to see that.
And the Globers say refraction. So this water, it's refracting up 70, 80, 90, 100 feet. The farther out you go, the more it has to refract up, and it all stops at eye level. The tower is refracting up 59 feet. The water in front of it's refracting up 50 feet, 49 and 48, all the way down to where there's no, it's stupid. It's frigging ridiculous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, man.
Right?
It's crazy. We're taught through the education system to use our, common sense, logical mind.
No, we're
But
not.
then,
We're taught to memorize and regurgitate, and then you get
well,
an A.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, you go into science class, you go into any class. If you memorize whatever it says in the book and write it down on the test, you get an A. And guess what? You could become a teacher. Check this
Become a
out.
teacher. Yeah.
This is from Aluja, France, looking out over the ocean. And Mount Canigou is out here at 175 miles away. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you can't see it. Therefore, the Earth is a curve because mountain should be over the top of the mountain should be over half a mile below the curve, according to globe math. Okay. Right. So this is the Earth curve right here, the horizon, the Earth curve. The light that's bouncing off of me is what you see. If I turned off all the lights in the room, you wouldn't see me. The light that's bouncing off of Mount Canigou either isn't bright enough to push 175 miles through the soup of the atmosphere, or it's below the curve. Okay. One or the other. Right. But twice a year, as the sun migrates into the Tropic of Cancer in the north and out to the Tropic of Capricorn in the south. And twice a year, it lines up with the viewer and the mountain. And as the sun goes beyond the mountain, all of a sudden you can see the whole mountain. It's backlit.
Hey.
Right? The top of the mountain right here should be over a half a mile below the curve. But it's right there.
But it's right there. Wow.
It's right there in physicality.
Wow. That is interesting.
Just to keep your listeners listening, I offer 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. But here's the challenge, okay? On my website, flatearthdave.com, you have 2 choices. You can buy my $3 app, because if you really want to learn the truth, the app is the only way to beat the algorithm. Get all the information every day. There's a daily video right here. All you got to do is while you're having your breakfast in the morning, cup of tea, coffee, whatever you have, watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you still think that you live on a wet spinning rock in the middle of a space vacuum, you can send me your reason why to win. But before you do, you have to click the question mark button. And that's going to be the FAQ page. And you'll be, your answer is probably here. Okay. Your answer is probably here. Why would they lie? We can see too far, boats over the horizon, eclipses, all sorts of stuff. So check it out. And yeah, it's way cool, dude. It does so much more. This is a more resources page, has tons of stuff. We have books, and the books are, biblical, novel, kids books. My favorite section, more land, right? We have, this is just cool flat earth merchandise, but this is the homeschool section.
Yeah.
The homeschool section, tons of stuff. And this is featured content makers that make great flat earth stuff. Biblical section. My favorite section is the old world section. Have you looked into the old world section yet? Have you looked into old world yet?
I haven't.
Okay, dude.
But I'm going to.
You're finished. This is it. This is gonna kill you. Just all you got to remember is my lunch break right here. My lunch break on YouTube, on Rumble, on Odyssey, everywhere. Just start watching his videos, and then you will not be able to walk out in front of your home in your own hometown and not go like this. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? All my life. How did I miss that? Okay. Because all of our history is a lie, right? Remember, we were taught in school, you may not remember this, Lewis and Clark crossed the Mississippi to find a trade route to the West Coast when we're discovering the new land. Guess what? San Francisco, Chicago, all the cities were fully built out then. Fully built out. Okay? Right?
So
with buildings that we could not build today. Okay?
Yeah. So
Buildings
what did
that
they
we could not
discover
build
then?
today. They discovered how to tell more lies. It's all lies. And all the wars. Dude, this page alone will blow your mind. The Nephilim look like clowns. This is mind-blowing. Dude, that's wild. It's so wild. And then you can even get into the Cabbage Patch Kids. Don't start there. Old World Order is a great place to start. It's on my website, flatearthdave.com. It's amazing. Then you could search videos, right? And because you can't search videos on YouTube or Google because they're going to feed you propaganda videos,
Right.
right? They're going to feed you propaganda. But like there's a video I featured on the Yankee Stadium. So just type in Yankee, right? Yankee. Up will come the video. Let me see. Let's see. Live test
And
here.
this will find videos that are not on.
No, they're on
the
YouTube.
internet? Okay.
No, they're on YouTube, but you won't find them unless you search their exact name and channel number.
Gotcha.
Because if you search, anything flat Earth, you're going to get Professor Dave, Simon Dan. You're going to get nonsense. You're going to get all these propaganda stuff, and it's really bad. But this one is about Yankee Stadium. It's the greatest thing. Where this guy asked about how is it possible Yankee Stadium was built in the time frame that it was said, and finally AI is like, okay, you're right, you got me, and then it hangs up on him. It's so
Okay.
good. So
Dang,
good.
this is a great
Yankee Stadium was built in, I think it was less than a year back in 18 or 19, early 1900s, or maybe 18 something. That's the story. And so the guy basically phrased the question as, if all the materials were available and they were only 10 miles away and money is no object, right? They had horse and buggies back then when they were building it. How long would it take to get the materials to the site? Right? It would take like 7 years, okay? Just to get the materials there.
And
right?
How long do they say it took?
It took like 9 months to build. Right? And then the numbers are ridiculous. The amount of finishing, it's phenomenal what the information that's coming out now. But when you start going down the old world rabbit hole, it's going to blow your mind. Mountains aren't what you think they are. Trees that have diameters in miles.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Diameters around the trunk. Miles around the trunk. Miles.
What?
Dude.
Wait a minute, Dave. Hold on. First, let's take one step back. First of all, you say mountains are not what they seem to be. Briefly tell me what does that mean?
Not going to go there. All right. You
okay.
So on the old world, this channel Hangman spent a couple hours there, right?
Okay.
Amazing. The Lost History of Flat Earth. This is a 5-hour video. Okay. That one is, there's a whole bunch of other videos, but let me tell you about that video when it came out. Everyone started sending me this video. Dave, you got to watch it. You got to watch this. I'm like, 5 hours? Get the hell out of here. I'm not watching it. Right. Enough people sent it to me. One night I'm cleaning up and I was like, let me just throw this thing on. I wanted to listen to something while I was cleaning up. It was 11 o'clock at night. I throw it on. 5 minutes later, I stop cleaning up. I'm staring at the TV. Next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Right? I did my shit for the day. I came home and I watched the whole thing again. I watched a 5-hour video twice in one day.
Why?
Okay?
It just blew your mind, didn't
it? Dude, the rabbit hole is so deep. Eddie Bravo once said, I think it was Eddie Bravo or Sam Tripoli said, the sad thing about flat Earth is when you discover it, you'll never have that mind-blowing thing again. Okay? That's not true. My mind is blown every single day, right? Dragons. What do you think about dragons?
I love dragons.
Yeah, but are they real?
Well, I think that they were real.
Well, okay, good answer. The Chinese zodiac has 13 animals, all real, one fake, 12 real, one fake. Doesn't make any sense. But check this out. In the 1946 dictionary, dragons, now rare.
Now rare? What is that?
1946. They're saying dragons, a huge serpent, fabulous animals, genetically monstrous, winged, scaly serpent, now rare. Means there's not many left.
Yeah, there's not many left.
It means that they are real.
Yeah, okay? They're endangered.
Yeah, the endangered species, now rare, right?
Wow.
Everything about our history is a lie. It's all lies. It's all lies. You do no longer have enough time to do anything in your life because you are never going to have a free moment again once you go down these rabbit holes, ever.
Damn.
If you wake up with insomnia at 3 a.m., just jump up and down, be happy because you get 5 hours where you have to go do something or talk to anybody else to research. And all the information's on this app.
This app is this app is going to take over lives.
Well, check this out. Check this out. Oh, and there's great TikTok stuff on there. Are you on TikTok? Are you a TikTok guy?
Yeah.
So Angels of Light, Angels_of_light. He does these lives every day. They're fantastic. And Globers, come on. These are the people that have the app that are near me. and I could tap on them. I can
Wow.
tap on somebody, and I could send them a message. I can look at their profile,
That's cool.
and hold on. This is just give you a quick worldview.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I say this represents way less than 1% of the people that are flat earthers. Look,
Wait, this is everybody who has this app?
this is just the people that have it and registered for the friend finder. Okay.
What?
This is the UK, right? They're
Yeah.
everywhere. They're everywhere. The flat earth is waking up. Look at this line of people. That is weird.
Wow.
My God. That's
That
weird.
is,
That's actually, that's a mistake. That's
okay.
yeah, that'll get fixed.
Hey,
And
jeez.
this is Sydney.
Hey, go to Florida. Go to Florida again. See how
Look, you want to
many.
see Florida, dude?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, you're buried.
Oh my God, it's buried in there. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we got stuff pulling up from the coast and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, Tampa.
Yeah.
And on the app, you can go. I have mine set for 50 kilometers. So within 50 kilometers of me, there's 428 people. So I can click that button and say, hey, I'm having a meetup at Johnny's Bar and Grill Saturday at 4:00. Send, and
Yeah.
everyone will get
Everybody
a message.
gets it. Oh
Everyone
my
gets a
gosh.
message.
You are just bringing everybody together too.
Well, that's the other thing. The heart is a dating thing because everyone on there is awake and aware. They're awake to all of the nonsense that's going on in the world. And so I say, all right, I'm interested in women between this age group within 100 miles or whatever, and search. And then I could swipe from page to page and say hello and introduce myself and whatever. And then I have a meetup maker right here where you can make a meetup and it makes a nice little poster for you. And then people can scroll. You can also on the meetup maker, you can, and everybody needs to do this. You need to hit the alert me, and put in your preferences. I say, all right, and meetups within 100, 500 miles or 1,000 miles, send me an email anytime anyone makes one. And that way I will never miss one because people are like, oh, there's a meetup. It was just 20 miles away. I didn't know about it.
Right.
And this way it brings people together. So the elite are doing everything they can to take this app down. In your comments, people are going to go, Dave's a scammer. His app is using globe data. His app leaks information. Yes, check this out. They spent a lot of money hacking my app in October. They got into the server and they got all the information. Okay.
Wow.
And what information did they get? Well, it's not like they got your Bank of America information when Bank of America was hacked, right? And your financial stuff or Facebook when they're hacked, or Microsoft or Wells Fargo or every other major company, Yahoo, right? What they got is the information, non-KYC. It's just when you sign up for the app, you can put a fake name, fake email address, doesn't matter. You can put as little or as much as you want, but the only information you put in there is the information that you want to share with the other users. So that's what they got. They could have spent $3 and just gone on the app and gotten any information they wanted.
And could have got that, but they went the other way. They thought they were going to get more.
Here's the thing. Flat Earth is the biggest threat to the power structure ever, and I'm reaching the most number of new people. This map, the AE map, is the most accurate map that we have, and they want to shut it all down. So they're on full court press to shut me down, but I'm not stopping. So
good for you, Dave.
And it's bringing people together. There's already babies because of this app, and it's amazing, dude.
And this makes sense because you have people that are having a hard time having a relation with somebody that's not really believing or into this stuff.
And just watch the comments that you'll get. None of them they'll say all these different things. They'll say, I've been debunked. I'm ignoring this. I was offered a free trip to Antarctica, blah, 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 right? They'll never offer a globe proof. And the ones they order are literally dumb. Okay. They're just so dumb. Not because I'm saying they're dumb. It's because they are dumb. Right? They are dumb.
I love it. Where are we on? We're on about an hour now. Is this time?
I go a little longer. You got some more questions?
Yeah. I just want to get some of these out there just for folks that that haven't heard about you. So I remember I heard that you said before, I don't want to be a flat earther. So what kept pulling you deeper down that rabbit hole, Dave?
I think that was from the CNN interview. I was literally at a conference, and I always lose my voice at the conferences because I'm talking so much. And so I did a phone interview with CNN for, and that it went super viral, which is awesome. But Nobody wakes up and says, I want to be disowned by my family members and laughed at by everybody. In 2014, you mentioned flat earth to somebody, you had a 99.9% chance of them calling you a moron and saying that you should be institutionalized and not in hearing you. Now you mention flat earth, people are like, I've heard something. Now they're interested. The world is waking up. The frequency is changing. The sun is changing. And I think they're trying everything they can to stop us from getting that frequency change because the sun relates to our consciousness. And when the world's consciousness raises, that's when the negative charge, the negative ones that are running this place lose control. I think we are going into what they call a pole shift, but it's a polarity shift, right? We're going from a negative charge where the negatives are in power, and we're going into a positive phase, right? Going to a positive phase. And I took that from Autodidactic. He's in the old world page. He's the first button there. He's got great stuff. Any one of those buttons will blow your mind. You're going to watch this stuff and go, how did I miss this? I never even...
for hours.
Yeah, no, the hours, years, dude. Years.
You're about to break some people's homes right now.
Well, here's the thing. This app actually saves you money. It's $3 for the app, one-time charge. You get everything except if you want to use the social media, if you want to be able to broadcast messages and use the search features, it's $11 a year. Okay, couldn't be any cheaper. So it's less than $1 a month. $11 a year. You can also earn a free subscription by referring people, and you also earn cryptocurrency by referring people. And basically, if you're a flat earther, that's all you want to do is get people to wake up anyway. So it's kind of a no-brainer. App saves you money. This is how it saves you money. It saves you money because when you get it, you no longer have time for Netflix or any other cable TV. You can get rid of all of that. Okay. No, you're going to just get like Apple TV so you can mirror your friggin' app videos right onto your TV. And any sports, if you want to watch sports still, I get it. You can just buy those a la carte. So I just saved you hundreds of dollars right there. All right.
Yeah.
And you're also going to become a better person, and life gets more interesting. And also, the truth will set you free. People get depressed when their inner soul is screaming at their conscious mind, and their conscious mind won't listen because it's lost in the news. The news is all fake. It's all here to steer your mind, northeast, west, south. News. They're steering your mind.
Holy shit, Dave.
And they're putting fear in you is the only way they can control you because we have free will. So fear, false evidence appearing real, FEAR. Okay. So that's what they do. If you're not, when you wake up to the truth of this world, you're no longer in fear. They no longer have any control over you. You unplug from the friggin' stupid globe matrix and you take your power back. And there's so much more to it. I mean, everything is a lie. They said William Casey, is it? The CIA director. He said, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false, right? Now, that was in 1981. I'm like, everything? I graduated high school back then. Everything? I'm like, it can't be everything. Maybe a lot of things. No, it's everything, dude. It's everything. Name one major thing that's real. Name one. Can you? You might be able to. One major event that's real.
I don't believe that because I heard that term, that history is his story.
His story, right.
Yeah.
Lies agreed upon by those in charge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's wild. I wonder, so, okay, Dave, so if, let's say NASA called you up tomorrow and said, Dave, we're sending you to space. Okay. All expense paid trip. Would you go? And what would you be looking for?
I have a question for you first. What if Warner Brothers called you up and said, hey, we're going to put you in an episode of Bugs Bunny, okay? And you're going to chase the Roadrunner. Would you go?
Yeah.
How the fuck are you going to go? It's a fucking cartoon. What the hell, man? Come on.
Oh, that was beautiful. You're right.
Yeah, you're not thinking. Right? They didn't teach us.
I wasn't thinking. You know what? Okay, let's clarify here. Folks, I was not thinking because I was just thinking of just what I was being told.
Yeah, this is the space station. Look what they filmed. What is this?
What is that?
Is that the Great Wall of China? Or is that a splice in their friggin' CGI Earth?
Okay. Damn. Yeah.
Right?
It's a splice. Yeah. Folks, he's showing a picture of the Earth from the space station, and There
and
seems to be
there's a
some kind
seam,
of a seam. Yeah, a
a seam
seam
going
on
for
the
a
planet.
couple thousand miles
Yeah.
through the clouds. It's just a bad stitching. Bad
Now,
stitching.
do you think? Let me ask you this: do you think clouds are real?
I think clouds are sentient. I think that clouds actually, a drop of water holds terabytes of information. Well,
It does.
clouds are supposedly holding trillions and millions of tons of water in the sky.
Yeah.
But how are they
Yeah.
floating? Why are they floating? And clouds have a good morphing cumulus cloud is really amazing. But then when these persistent contrails, we'll call them, come out of airplanes, it turns them into slurries. There is a
It does.
spiritual war going on in the heavens right above our eyes.
Wow, I actually never heard anybody say that clouds are sentient, but I'm digging it. I'm digging. So
Yeah,
what?
dude.
What is this?
What I was showing you, let
Yeah.
me go back to that. And anyone that's listening to this, you got to come to his video channel. You got
Yeah,
to
watch
watch
the
this.
video because it makes a lot
So
more
this
sense.
is a zero G plane. You know what the zero G plane?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
plane that
yeah.
does a parabolic arc, and they're
Yep.
floating around. So the next I'm going to show is a live. This was a long time ago. They were doing a live segment on the news, and they said we only got the space station, or maybe it was Skylab at the time. I think it was the space station or the shuttle. I'm not sure. He goes, we only have them satellite time for like 45 seconds or whatever it was, right? But like 20 seconds in, all of a sudden they all slam to the wall. It's and then they cut away. They're like, oh, the ISS had a shift. Something happened, and it shifted in its orbit. Okay,
Right.
and I'm like, what? And then so on a zero G plane, you float around, and let me just jump forward here. And when it comes out of its arc, everybody falls to the floor at the same
Right.
time, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I looked at this and I watched this guy right here. Watch the guy on the end. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Watch this guy. He catches those two things, a roll of duct tape and something else with one hand like a friggin' pro. Watch, catch,
Yeah.
catch.
Catch
Right?
it.
Like it wasn't some sudden shift.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
he just cut that. And
Yeah,
so
he knew.
this was literally, they came out of their parabolic arc a little early and they caught it live on TV. That's why they don't do anything really live anymore.
Right.
Unless they're hanging on wires and stuff. They don't do the parabolic stuff anymore. And so that's basically what it is. And there's so many things. We catch them with wires. I'm showing a clip of Buster Keaton, an old Buster Keaton movie, and you can see the wire that's holding him clear. And he has to
Yeah.
move his feet around it when he jumps into the train.
Yeah.
You can see it pulling on his pants a little bit.
Yep. You see it
And,
there. Yep.
And so unless you believe that, he's just really going back, getting pulled by a streetcar, right? But then when you compare this to the space station,
Well,
this
yeah,
is,
we've seen these wires.
you've seen this one. This
Yeah.
guy, it's got a harness. And wait, why is he holding his knees? He can't
Right.
hold his legs up. There's no gravity.
Yeah.
Why is he holding
yeah.
these? It's because he has weak stomach muscles because he's a weak human being. Okay.
Yes. 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 That makes
Right?
sense. Yeah.
And this guy, he got caught, and this guy tried to pull him back and grabbed his wire right there. You see him grab the wire,
Yep. Right there.
and he straightened him out,
Yep.
right? And then this guy did a flip, got caught, and then this guy
Got
pulls a lever. Watch,
stuck.
you can pull the lever.
Oh, look at
and
that.
and watch right here.
What is that? Yeah.
The wire moved, and when you
Yeah.
hear the sound, you hear clunk, like there's a trapeze or something.
What is that?
And
They
then
should
and
just
so
stop doing that.
yeah, so we found this company called this company something FX whatever. This was another video they already took down. Oh yeah, the one with the sound they already took down. But yeah, this is one where they're talking, and then this guy floats by in the background, but they forgot to cut out his harness and wire. You can see it.
Oh, look at that.
And then the Globers come out and they're like, well, they have harnesses for safety. What? Right?
Safety from
Is
what?
she floating in free space, or is she hanging from a waist harness?
She's hanging. Yeah, looks like she's hanging.
And look at all the wires and everything hanging out there, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, it's hard to see here, but you can actually see the wire. Actually,
I see it. I
look,
see
you
it.
can see the wire right there.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
it
I
is.
see it right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's the wire, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, here's another one. Yeah, you see, it got caught on the wire
Yep,
behind her
it
head.
got caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why like now these people that are on these videos, are they probably given some kind of like non-disclosure agreement to like
I think they're total mind controlled pawns.
Yeah.
But this is about the company called ZFX, which says it It specializes in flying people in front of green screens, and they do it for shows, for movies. That's what they specialize in making people look like they're flying. And on their client list,
No, NASA.
yep,
No.
NASA's on their client list. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good find, Dave. Good find.
Dude, we
That's
find NASA on so many lists. From
yeah.
we're watching a rocket launch. What's a green screen here? We're
Yeah.
watching a rocket launch,
Dang, wow. Yeah.
and we saw these weird lights on the Google Earth. And so actually wasn't. No, yeah, I think it was the live footage, or maybe it was Google Earth, but I think it was live footage. And we froze it and zoomed in on it, and we got a serial number, and it went back to a holographic projection company, and NASA has a contract with them.
Of course they do.
Holograph projection company.
What are they holographing, projecting, you know?
Great question.
Yes. Show us.
Let me show you.
Folks, I told you you were gonna get a treat today with Dave, so this is amazing.
Yeah, so let me just show you this one. I'm looking. This is Elon's Star Hopper. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Where is it? Give me a second here.
Yeah. No, by all means.
So sometimes they launch balloons, helium balloons, like the space shuttle. What? Space shuttle's a helium balloon? I can prove it. Okay. But sometimes they launch, right? So check this out.
Okay.
Look at all this smoke, right? Now, let's pause this for a second. The amount of thrust coming out of here is massive, right? You ever see when they drive a truck behind a 747 jet and the truck just gets blown, or a bus gets blown into the air?
Yeah.
So this thing's lifting up millions of pounds. So this superheated blast is coming out at 20, 30,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
Unfathomable. You can't even fathom that.
Right.
Where's the smoke? Look at the smoke. How come that smoke isn't just being obliterated?
It's just barely it's just like dust.
Wafting around. It's got a little breeze. Like,
yeah.
That should just be obliterated for a half
massive,
a mile.
Yeah.
Right.
Massive.
But then watch the top half of the rocket. Something happens in this perfectly blue sky. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and
no.
Yeah.
No.
And so we'll go a little closer.
No.
They make it's a technical camera glitch in the processing.
Okay, so what we're seeing is we're seeing everybody is seeing this on video, whatever.
This is all just on video. No one's
no one's actually there. So
it's possible that people could be 5 or 10 miles away watching it, and they do see a hologram going up in the sky.
That's what I'm thinking. There's people that go down to Cape Canaveral or wherever, and they want to see, this momentous day and things like that. But of course, from a distance, you don't know.
Yeah. This one, I haven't looked at this one in a while. So you got all this smoke coming out, and always edit. There's 3 edits, 4 edits, right? And these people are watching. Like, no one's that close to a rocket launch.
They should have felt that.
When there's a smoke trail, they're launching something. I say it's a helium balloon with some fireworks on the bottom. But other times, there's no trail at all. That's CGI.
Of course, that makes sense.
Right. That's CGI.
How did you get into all this investigation? Like, was it just are you just, again, we just met. Are you just a regular guy that just finds things and then you just look deeper into it, or you have some kind of
started looking into this? I was looking into all of the other conspiracies, all the other false flags, the big ones. And then when I discovered Flat Earth, I didn't want to talk about it because I thought it would ruin all of the other work I'd done. People are going to think I'm crazy. And I was like, you know what? This is the most important lie of all, because you can wake someone up to 9/11, to the Boston Marathon, to other ones, and they go right back to sleep a couple days later. You wake someone up to Flat Earth, they're done for life, right?
They're done. Game
See
changer.
this orange tank here?
Yeah.
The external tank. Remember the shuttle?
Yes.
Look at this thing. This thing's 4 million pounds. It's blowing around in the wind like a bouncy house.
Oh, like it's like an inflatable.
Why is it blowing around in the wind like a bouncy house?
Yeah, good question.
Right?
Interesting.
And also, this is how easy it is to fool people. So this is the external tank falling back to Earth. Guess who's filming this?
Who is filming that?
the people on the space shuttle that are heading to space at 20,000 miles an hour up, while this is free falling down.
How are they doing that?
Right. And now watch right here. You're going to see a tissue go by to show you that this thing is floating. Ready? Here it comes. And there it goes. You see it?
See, where was that tissue? Is that just a random?
Tissue, it just was just floating by.
I saw it, but where did that come from? It just
I don't know. It just shows that this is floating in the air. And this thing is supposed to deatomize before it hits the Earth. It doesn't look like it deatomize.
Nope.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
just
check
floating.
this out.
So it's not falling yet.
So let me show you this, and then we'll
How are they even have this perfect? They're following this thing perfectly, but they're actually going the opposite way. Okay.
SR-71 goes Mach 3.2. It doesn't have paint on it because the paint would burn off. Right? It's shaped like a friggin' razor blade because it can't have any friction. This thing, not so aerodynamic, goes Mach 33.
No.
And it's got stickers on it and paint on it and PVC piping on the outside and square face things.
There you go, Dave. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it right there. That's it.
People just you need to snap out of it, stop crying.
And when it comes back, it comes, like again, when they say it comes back, it comes back and the stickers still are on it.
And it has two jet fighters on the sides of it escorting it in. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they mask out its engines. It is a plane.
Yes.
The space shuttle that lands, the one that goes up is a balloon. The one that lands is an airplane.
And this is why it lands like an airplane.
It lands like an airplane, but it also has jet engines. You can even see the intakes and everything. And we've heard it wind down, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at the external tank again. Again, watch. This guy's going to show you that he's filming. Oh, he's filming from the window, right? And oh, look, there's the Earth, right? So that thing's falling, 20,000 pounds of steel falling, okay? While they're going up in the opposite direction at over 17,000 miles an hour, okay? And how could he keep it in focus for 1 second? The answer is absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But they filmed it for minutes, right? But check it out. This is good. So this is how easy it is to fool you of the Earth, right? That's the Earth, right? We're looking down at the Earth.
Yeah, clouds, ocean.
Yeah. Is that the Earth, or is that our front yard? And we just turned the camera upside down, and we put a solar panel up in the air and made you think that's the Earth. You saw it.
That camera was just turned around?
This camera is upside down.
Yeah.
Right? Watch, I'm going to turn the camera over. This is a separate layer.
Damn.
That's how easy it is to fool people. Okay?
Yeah.
Now watch this. Watch this. So it's not falling, it's floating. So is this 20,000 pounds of steel? Watch how fast Felix Baumgartner falls when he jumps.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
Look how fast he's gone. Right?
He's gone.
And that's with a stationary camera, not someone that's moving away at speeds that you can't even comprehend.
Do you think that he actually did that? Do you think he
I think that he might have jumped from some altitude, but half of it was fake and more was done in the studio. We were watching this. We saw something. Watch this. We saw something. Right side. Ready? Watch it. We saw something. We're like, what the hell is that? Ready? There it goes.
What is that? What is that?
I'll slow it down.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like some sort of quadcopter, like some sort of recovery vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? And they always do stuff. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and 10% speed, and I'll up the contrast.
Oh shit! Yeah. It's an aircraft.
Some sort of aircraft going to recover that. And so in a mid-air recovery.
Yeah. So that way you don't have 20 tons just landing on some random place.
That's a friggin' Macy's Day balloon.
Yeah.
It's not 20 tons. That's just literally a helium balloon. Guess who controls 99% of the helium in the world? I'll give you one hint. It has 4 letters, begins with NASA, or begins with N. I gave it away. It begins with NASA.
NASA, right? Really?
NASA
interesting.
Controls all the helium in the world.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, it is. NASA, do you know, true or false? I heard that they also control part of the Grand Canyon.
They control the part of the Grand Canyon. They also control the pyramids. Something about the pyramid. I think the pyramids in Egypt.
Sections. There's sections of it. Yeah. Exactly.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez, what's this?
This is a external tank exploding. Too much air, too much helium. I don't know.
Too much,
Yeah.
too much helium. Yeah, that doesn't look like metal. It looks like fabric or something. I don't know what that is.
It's incredible how bad it is.
Dave, I want to know, where do you see yourself, your investigations, even your podcast in the next like 5 years? What's the goal?
If we're still alive,
Yeah, if we're still, yeah, big question. Yeah, if we're still alive, yeah.
I think that in the next year or two that the world is going to wake up. There's going to be a mass awakening. And I think the world is going to split into two worlds. A world of NPCs. They all go into their 15-minute cities, get their jibby jabs and have their little corporate jobs. And they live inside the wall. You know about the line they're building in Saudi Arabia? The line,
The
the building.
line?
It's
No,
called the
what's the
line.
line?
It's literally a mirrored, very tall building that's like 170 miles long. And you live in there and you never come out. It's like Logan's Run. It's super high tech.
For
It's
what and for when?
they're building it now. It's the biggest construction project ever. Look it up on YouTube. The line, and I think it's in Saudi Arabia or the Middle East somewhere. Just look up the building of the line, and your mind is gonna be blown. Like, you know what? At this point, I want to say that I don't believe that they're actually building it, but the construction photos I saw, I don't know how they can be fake. It's so
Yeah,
big.
yeah, just like that and all the what is it? Is it in China something, or Japan, where they have all these empty cities and things like that?
Dude, have you seen that in like Shanghai, there's no people now. They're like all
There's no
gone.
people.
There's no
Where
people
they
in
go?
Shanghai. I mean, nobody knows. The restaurants are empty, the stores are empty, the malls are empty. There's like a fraction of the people that used to be there. And people are
Since
wondering what the hell happened. Since like
since how long?
like a week ago is when I saw that first report on it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have
Yeah.
to
All
look
right.
at that.
Not all right. And
What do you think?
I think that there's a massive reset going on. You don't know about the resets, do you?
Well, yes and no, but this is you. So you tell me, what do you think the resets are and stuff, because because I do agree with you. I do believe in this massive shift. Some of us are going to fight, 5D, other ones are going to just stay over here and be compliant and complacent and whatever. Yeah.
I think that when human consciousness rises in the cycles that we're in, I think we're in a cycle where human consciousness is rising, that they do everything they can to stop it. Now, the question is, they need us to stop it. They need us to create their reality. They need our emotions, our feelings, our energy. It literally is the matrix where they're trying to steal our energy. They need us to do it. The question is, how many people will wake up? So that's why I quit my job. I had my own company with two partners, and we were doing great. And I walked away from my life's work to do this, not even knowing if I could support myself. But it wasn't about that. It was about waking up the world so we can say no. So we can say no. Because guess what? We can say no.
We can.
We can say
We
no. We
absolutely
can say
can.
no, right? And if you don't
Yeah.
say no, guess what you're saying is yes. Because they
Right.
told you, they showed you, they told you 100 times over. And if you don't see it, you're agreeing to it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can say no. People are like, well, I'm only one person. I got to support my family. And, there's nothing I could do. That's where they want you. They want you believing that. One person awake is more powerful than a million sleeping people. Okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely do believe that, we are omnipotent beings in our natural sense.
We're at the center of creation. They want you to believe once upon a time there was nothing. It exploded and became
Yeah.
everything. And then all of the gases defied natural law and they turned into burning gas balls. And all of the rocks turned into planets. And then somehow water and dirt and stuff happened and lightning happened and an amoeba happened and found a pond. It turned into a fish. The fish grew legs. It climbed out and found another sexy fish, had a monkey, and that monkey
Yeah.
had a retarded baby that became a human. That's what
Boom.
that's what they're teaching you in school.
Yeah.
Okay? Right?
Yeah.
And therefore, in the heliocentric world, there could be God, there might not be God. It could just be a random accident. In the flat earth, you have no other choice. There's a creator. They don't want you in a position where you cannot deny creation. I denied creation before I found flat earth. I didn't find flat earth through any religion or anything like that. I found it through science. I found it through actual checking things. And then when I saw it, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And everything changes. There is no other option. There's a verse in the Bible that basically says, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. And that's
Love
what they
it.
don't want. They don't
Love
want
it.
you finding a place where you cannot deny creation. The devil, or wherever you want to call him, that's running this place with the fallen angels, they want us dead. They want us, they want us dead, but they want to suck our energy first. They're more like vampires, but there's
Yeah.
not as many of them, right? There's
Yeah.
not as many of them. There's if you search on the app, a final plea to humanity. It's by a buddy of mine, Dave Murphy. He calls himself allegedly Dave. And it's a great video. Really good. Really good. Just search for a final plea to humanity. It's really good.
I love all of that. And yes, I love the fact that we can say no, and a lot of us are. Everybody there on your app already saying no. But look, Dave, to respect your time, let me ask a couple of these questions here,
Yep.
and then we'll wrap things up, buddy. So Dave, beyond all the knowledge and experience that you've gained thus far, what still leaves you in awe and makes you still question everything?
Well, I mean, it leaves me in awe how fake the news and politics are. I mean, it leaves me in wonder, not awe, I guess. And every day, just the new stuff I discover. Like, I used to be bored. Bored doesn't exist anymore. Jealousy doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
There's no such thing as bored. There's no such thing as lack. Lack doesn't exist anymore. And the amount of potential here is amazing. But if you live in a ball with that ball over your brain, your thoughts can't even get out to manifest what you want in this world. Your thoughts manifest your reality, but they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that your thoughts create your world. Look at your world. Look at the way you think. That's your fault. Your
There you
thoughts
go.
create your reality.
There you,
Well, I want $1
Dave.
million. What you're saying is, I don't have $1 million. I'll never have $1 million, and I'm going to work as a slave for the rest of my life. That's what I want $1 million means. Because nobody wants $1 million. You want the idea of $1 million, right? What do you want? You want a feeling. You want. What would it feel like to have what you want? Focus on the feeling, and that is magnetic. And this world works through electricity and magnetism.
Dave, with everything that you've seen and experienced, what does the word home mean to you?
I'm a bit of a homebody. I spent the winter in Mexico, but I was like, I miss my home because it's a place that we have all of our stuff, and it's a place where we have our roots. But those roots are getting pulled up. The kids have moved away, and my normie friends are going to be NPCs for life, and it's okay to move on. So home is where you have your roots, where you're comfortable, where you do your thing and relax.
Do you think, regarding home, do you think that this reality is your home, or you think you're from somewhere else?
I think that we're all here, and this is not a solar system, a soul lure system. They're trying to steal your soul. This is a soul system, a system for souls to have experiences and expand the mind of creation. We're all part of this whole creation, and we're here. And check this out. We have a predestined path. Who made it? We made it. So when we said, all right, I'm coming here and I'm going to have this path and I want to get to this endpoint, right? So that's your path. That's your destiny, right? But you have free will. You can take a right, you can take a left, you can do a loop-de-loop. But whenever you get off that path, things don't go so well. Okay. Yeah. And so when the path pulls you back in, you're back in your groove. And so that groove, your path, it's still your free will not to go on it, but you chose it. You chose to go here, and you chose to come, in my opinion, you chose to come here with amnesia and figure the whole thing out. So you have to find your path. I was like, I literally went to college and I worked in corporate America. I excelled in the printing industry. I went to work for a large solar company. I took them to new levels. I excelled in that. And then I started my own solar company, and that was taken off. And I was doing my podcast also, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, before Flat Earth. And, or Flat Earth was starting right at the time. And it was interfering with my work. And my one partner was getting pissed. Right. And rightly so, because I was going after lawyers that were doing bad shit with false flags or hoax shooting events. And these lawyers were the same lawyers that represent some of our clients. Right. So yes, there was a conflict there. Right. And so I decided to walk away from it all because I asked for a sign. I asked for a sign. I got 3 signs, crazy signs. And I went home to pay my bills that night, and just the little bit of money that was coming in from the app covered my bills down to the $1 left over.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, $1. And I was like, you know what? If I do this full time, I could sell more apps. And it's not about selling apps, because every app I sell is unplugging somebody from the matrix.
Yes.
Right? I don't look
Yep.
at it as give me your 3. I could charge $30 for the app. Everyone loves the freaking app, right?
Yeah.
I want everyone to have it. I want it to be a no-brainer. But why do I charge for it? Now how much it costs me monthly to do this? It's frigging crazy. I should raise the price. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that bought the app, you should send me another $3 just for but that's right. That's not what I'm doing. I'm giving some, you know, the Globers come after me and they're like, oh, you're the grifter, it's a $3 app. And then they ask for $20 super chats, you know, while they're doing a live stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hyper.
I wonder, is there a significance with the number 3 for you? Why $3 or no? Or is it just
2 less than 4? I like the number 3. I don't know. It's a nice round number, $2.99. You know, I try
Fair
to
enough.
there was significance in the subscription's $11.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it $11. The Apple only lets you do $10.99. So $11 because I'm a big 11 guy.
Yeah, I love 11.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your definition of God?
So air is a lie, and water is another lie. Okay. So God never created water. Never in the Bible does it talk about creating water, but water is everywhere. Right? Can you survive without air or water? Right? Water is information. Right? Water can be non-physical in the clouds, right? And water is everywhere. Only thing you die of, even if you get shot with a bullet, you die of dehydration. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And air, if it held your breath, covered your mouth and nose, your heart will still beat, your brain will still work, but you'll lose consciousness. Right. So air is consciousness. Air is the yin and the yang to water. You can make air from water and you can make water from air. I think God is around us. God is everywhere, and water and air is how I see God around us, right? And then I look at all of us as individual souls, which are literally neurons in God's brain. If you want to break it down like that. So we're all here expanding the mind of God. Now, where did God come from? I don't think we have the ability to explain. Oh, who created God? You know, I don't think we have the ability to explain that.
Right. I think, I mean, wow, from what you just said there, we basically breathe in consciousness. Damn. Okay. Shit. Okay.
Right? Think about your breath, your respiration. It's incredible. And just breath work will change your life, right?
Yeah.
Just breathing right.
Yeah. Because you're right. When you hold your breath,
lose consciousness.
You lose consciousness, and then you leave whatever, I don't know, you leave the body, you go somewhere, whatever the case is, and then when you get air back into your body, your consciousness comes back.
You've heard of breatharians?
I have not.
So breatharians are people that only breathe air. They don't eat or drink anything. Now I used to think there was a hoax. I used to think it was a hoax. They absorb sunlight through their eyes and they breathe air and they live. David Avocado Wolf is a great naturalist researcher, amazing guy. He had a breatharian living with him that hadn't eaten in 17 years or something. There's a girl also, they just did a study on her. She hasn't eaten or drink any water in like decades.
And she's okay.
But here's the thing. Our bodies transmute energy into what we need. Chickens don't eat enough calcium to make the eggs that they lay, but somehow they have the amount of calcium they need, right?
Amazing. Yeah.
I think that, you know, when we look at some of these big rocks and stuff that might have been trees and might have been titans, like how did they turn to rock, right? We have the ability to transmute. Gold comes from the roots of trees. Gold grows in trees. And it's the root of the tree, and the sap turns into quartz. Now, some people, that's my opinion, and there's so much evidence with it, but gold and quartz are found together. And if you actually look at the structure, it's a friggin' tree root. The vein of gold is a tree root. And when I'm not talking trees, I'm talking giant trees. When I say giant trees, I'm not talking sequoias. Sequoias are blades of grass. Okay?
Yeah. Giant trees.
Again, you gotta take the time and look at this stuff, and you gotta get out into the field yourself, and you gotta look, you gotta think. And you could trust some other people's research, but you got to start looking and actually using your God given common sense, because they don't want you doing that. They want you memorizing, regurgitating, losing your spiritual connection with all the stuff that they stick into your body. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and we better do something quick about it, or we might not be here. You know about the Deagle report?
The who?
The Deagle report. You don't know about it.
Tell
I don't know
me.
if we want,
Tell
I
me.
don't know if we want to end on that note.
No, no. Let's like Dave. Give it to us, man, because I have a
All right.
lot
So
to process.
in 2017, the Deagle.com output, they keep track of gross national product, military contracts, world population, and they did predictions for 2025 from 2017. And in 2025, they said the population in the United States and Canada and the UK and several other Western countries are going to drop by 70%.
Wow, 70%?
So there'll be 99 million people in the United States. Now, the good news is maybe there's not 350 million or 330 million, like to say. Maybe there's only, 150 million. So it's not that big of a drop. But maybe it is that big. I don't know. But that's what they say that the population will be by the end of 2025. Could totally be wrong. Could be nonsense, right?
Yeah, it
Maybe
could be
we changed
nonsense.
the timeline, but they took down that report 6 months ago or so. And that's what they normally do. They put stuff up like, Event 201, which was about about Event 201. Event 201 was a simulation of what happened in 2020 in Wuhan. Okay. They did a complete run through 3 months earlier of the exact same scenario from bat market or whatever it was. Right.
Yeah,
And how they would handle it with social media, everything. They did the full run through. They took the website down, and then the event happened. Really weird,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So the Deagle thing is very, very interesting. And, that thing that I'm kind of just like, let's see what happens. I'm not worried about it. But then when I saw that Shanghai, like all the people are missing, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
That I mean,
Look
shoot.
it
I
up.
wonder
Look it
if
up.
I wonder they either got eliminated or I don't know who
Or
they
maybe
could
it was just an off
they
day.
could have
Maybe
ascended.
people were just chilling. Maybe they're chilling that day. Well, it wasn't just one
Yeah,
day. It wasn't
yeah,
one day. The
yeah.
airports are empty. It's like, it's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's
I
crazy.
wonder they could have like they could have been enlightened and ascended somewhere. Who knows? Turned to orbs and just left. you know?
And that's the last thing, and we'll end on this
Yeah.
is the drones and the orbs,
Yeah. What?
right?
Yeah. What about them?
So
Yeah.
the government says, "Oh, we don't know what they are, but there's nothing to be afraid of." Okay, that's programming. Okay, so this is how far conspiracy theorists come. Years ago, we said there's aliens, and they were told we're crazy. Now
Right.
they say they're aliens, and we're like, no, no, they're not aliens. They're
Yeah.
coming from the outer lands, and it's fake, and they're fake stuff too. So it literally has reverse roles. It reverse roles.
Yeah.
Well, now we're crazy for saying that it's not real. Um,
Right.
so the plasma balls and the drones are to program, in my opinion, are to get people used to the idea of aliens, right? Like, hey, nobody even cares about it. No one's even talking about it anymore. And now so one of the big things is the fake alien invasion. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so they're talking about the fake. So a couple of years ago, if they all of a sudden did a wide broadcast fake alien invasion, either people wouldn't believe it or they would and they'll freak out and it'll cause mass mayhem. They don't want that. So now they've got people so customized to, yeah, there's aliens, but they don't seem to be dangerous because they've been here and the government said not to worry about them. They say, oh my God, there's aliens coming. Everyone will stop and listen and obey. And they're not going to freak out and they're going to believe because they've been programmed to, right? They've been
Yeah.
programmed to, right? Yeah, there's some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Have you watched Scrawny to Brawny's breakdown of Back to the Future from 1985, showing
No.
that it's a
I love
layout
that
for
movie.
9/11?
No.
Dude,
No. No. Yeah. 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 I
it
saw.
literally,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all about 9/11. There's a whole series on it.
Yeah.
You
I
just
did see that.
type in 9/11 or Scrawny to Brawny right there, and it'll come up.
That app. I'm getting that app because that app is just beast. Like I've never seen an app that has that much
One note. The
information.
day of recording this, where I'm still updating the profile section, meetups, and the matchmaker are under update. So it's going to be a couple days before they're back online. But you'll get a notification telling you that they're back online.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dave, what's love?
Dogs. Dogs show unconditional love. That's why they're here for. And dog backwards, of course, is God, right? And they're here to teach us unconditional love. And And that's the state that we're all supposed to be in all of the time, and unconditional love, and no hate whatsoever. And that's how the world is supposed to vibrate. But they literally changed the vibration of this world. They've taken down all of the old world buildings that are resonating to Schumann resonance, and they're putting in a 5G synthetic um, ether over us. So, and they changed our music. You're aware of that, from
Yeah,
432 to
the
440.
440. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So all of this stuff is way beyond what most people are willing to even educate themselves on. So they just don't believe it, and they just go on. Well, doing pretty good. I got my 2
yeah,
weeks vacation, and I
yeah.
get half days on Fridays in the summer. And that's their life. And then they drink beer and they watch sports, and then they start over again.
And it's
Right?
so easy. Even if you put it right in their face, they're just like, "Look, I see it, but I like my little bubble. I feel good here." And that's okay too. That's okay too, because some people they just don't want to stomach that, I mean, two more questions, Dave. If you could talk to little Dave, what would you tell him? Go back,
Drop out of
like,
drop out
go
of
drop out of school.
drop out of school and follow your passion and learn the truth of this world. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and and for there's a channel on YouTube, and I want to start featuring it, called Spirit Science. Just if you search YouTube, Spirit Science, Sacred Geometry, you'll find a channel. It's kind of like a cartoon character that talks to you. It's the most educational channel ever about math. And it's the real math, not calculus, not geometry, not friggin', accounting. It's vortex math. It's friggin' sacred geometry. It's fascinating. It's so good. Good for kids, good for adults. Everyone's got to start watching it. It's really
Sounds
good.
like fun. Is it almost like Terrence Howard math? Or
It's no, it's really it talks about the flower of life and the tree of
oh yeah,
life,
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's really, really, really good. And I haven't watched it in years until just recently, and they have so much new content. But I watched back, a couple of years ago. I watched it all 5 times.
Yeah.
So it's
Damn.
worth watching. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
And
endless.
yeah, I
Actually, I'm
bet.
gonna add it. I'm gonna add it to the more resources page.
There you go. There it is right
Oh no,
there,
no,
guys.
the homeschool. It'll be on the homeschool page.
Okay.
The homeschool page. Perfect.
Love it. Love it. And Dave, where can people find you if they haven't found you?
There's only one place that you got to worry about, flatearthdave.com. And right at the top, you'll see, you can be the app banners there if you want to get the app. But you'll see my social media. I have several YouTube channels, 3 of them. Subscribe to all of them. One of them, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. All short videos, mostly under 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Flat Earth Dave interviews, where all my interviews are. Then there's the Flat Earth Clock app, which is all sorts of other Flat Earth videos. I'm on TikTok. I'm on X, but most of my stuff is on YouTube, because that's where the normies are, and that's what I'm after. I'm after the normies. If you're already a flat earther, congratulations. All right.
I love it, Dave. It was just, I don't even have the words other than it was a pleasure. I'm sitting in gratitude to have you. I hope that we can also do another podcast because
Sure,
there's
do a
so
follow-up.
much information coming from you, Dave. Before I go to my outro, is there like a last piece of something you want to tell the audience here?
When I say don't believe anything I say, I really mean it. You just listen, use your brain, stop listening to Google, and verify anything that's important in your life. Verify it, right? Like if you think that I'm crazy, ask yourself, what's your number one reason you live on a ball? I bet you can't come up with one. Okay. And if you do, it's probably really stupid. So I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. The globe is the dumbest thing ever. That's why I have my shirt says, "You're not stupid. It's stupid."
It's
Because
stupid.
it
Yeah.
is stupid. It's just stupid. And people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. I don't have a PhD." Where did you get your PhD? What is a PhD? It means that you're really good at memorizing and regurgitating whatever they tell you. And
Yeah.
who's writing these books? The Rockefellers. Oh, they're here for our health, right? They want the best for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's funny. It is funny.
I
It's
love,
all funny.
and I want, now that I seen your shirt, this is on your shop too, right?
Yeah, you can go on my website. I got a t-shirt shop, but on the app, if you hit the shopping cart button, the top middle button is my shirts. I got some cool stuff in there.
I gotta get that shirt because it's right.
I
It's
got the
really
t-shirt.
not.
We're gonna need a t-shirt weather. I mostly wear a t-shirt, but it's cold today, so
Yeah,
I'm wearing a hoodie.
yeah. No, it's a cool like message because it's not really offensive. I mean, it's you're not stupid. No one's calling you stupid. It's stupid.
Well, I'm
You
actually
know.
calling them stupid, but I'm not
Okay.
making it that
I was trying to
obvious.
help you out here.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I have a new one. It's called "You're Not Stupid, It's Stupid," and I got the space shuttle taking off. Right, that's kind
Yeah,
of fun. And
yeah.
here's the "You're Not Stupid, It's Stupid" globe in colors and black and darkers. And I like this one. Trust the science. It gives you blood clots. You want to have some balls. That's a fun one, right? White version of "You're Not Stupid, It's Stupid" with the rocket. And you want to really get in people's faces. Wear that. Um,
The world. Yeah.
yeah. And then I got some hoodies and
Oh my
all sorts of,
gosh.
and this is my compass. The compasses are the best, right?
What? Why are they all south?
Yeah. You know what? Can we go another 2 minutes and I'll just tell you about
Please, no. By all means,
circumnavigation?
please
All
explain.
right. Yeah, yeah. So we'll talk about that. And then
Yeah.
as I talked about before, never bored. I'm never bored. Never
Yeah.
bored. And then blue skies matter. That's one of my favorites. So real quick, and we're gonna
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a while, but you're kind of fun to talk to.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't have. Yeah, Dave. We don't have a time limit here. I'm trying to respect your time. So
No,
if you
no,
want to
it's all
go,
right.
go. Yeah.
And no,
Yeah.
we can't make it too long because people will just short
All right.
circuit.
All right.
So circumnavigate. People say, if the Earth is flat, how do we circumnavigate? And so anyone that's already a flat earther, you already know this, but we're gonna go over it real quick. So here's a flat Earth map, and I got a magnet here. It's got a neodymium magnet, and I put a compass down, and the needle is pointing towards the center. Make sense?
Yeah, I see it.
Right? So this is west, 90 degrees to this, right? 90 degrees is this. So when I push this west, the needle's turning, so I have to turn. So I have to keep turning. I'm heading 270 degrees west on this, and I'm keeping my compass heading exactly 270 west.
Yeah.
And it brings me right back to where I started from, right? And if I go east, I have to keep turning because that compass always points towards the center.
Right.
Now, this doesn't prove the Earth is flat or a globe because it's the same on a globe or a flat Earth. Now, if I'm sitting here and I say, okay, west is the direction of that stick, and I just follow the stick and I don't turn, I'm heading south.
Yeah.
South is every direction away from center. This
Yeah.
is south. This is south. This is south.
Now I get your shirt. Now I
Okay.
get your shirt.
So
Yeah.
so now here's the funny thing. Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 have gone south. You should be able to go south, ready? Go south and end up over here. But on a
Right.
flat earth, you can't. All right? Flat earth,
Yes.
you can't. You should be able to go from Santiago and end up in Australia. Look, I'm going north. I'm going north. I'm going north. And now the compass just did a 180 and I'm going south. Every
Yeah.
straight line is south.
Yeah.
Every straight line is south.
What the hell, man?
Every straight line is south.
What about you? Okay, so all the ancient civilizations have always depicted the Earth on this like dome structure, right? But NASA is the only one that presents it as a globe. So if all these ancient cultures have depicted it one way, isn't that kind of pointing towards the truth?
Well, weren't they just all, uneducated and,
Right, they don't know anything, right?
right, right.
What's this?
So
Yeah,
none of them knew anything until these guys came around, NASA,
exactly.
right?
Until these guys figured
So
it out. Yeah.
you haven't looked into the World's Fairs, but that has to do with the old world, Tataria. And I was interviewing this woman, 102 years old. She was in a nursing home. I was visiting my mother, and she was telling me all about it. And I said, "What did they teach you in school when you were a kid about the Earth?" And she said, "They taught me the Earth was flat in Hamden, Connecticut, in public school. They taught her the Earth was flat in the late 1920s."
What?
Yeah.
Then so that means that when NASA said it's not flat, what could
So
have been
in
her thought?
1950s, they were still teaching flat and globe because they didn't know. And then all of a sudden, the AE map, the map that that's the most used map,
Yeah.
was taken out of encyclopedias, taken out of books and everything. And when I told her, she was so happy, like she literally started crying. It was crazy, crazy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's now that's cool because to see that this woman grew up with the education system teaching her the world was flat, and then at some point the system just changed it and just said, "Forget it."
Yeah, she
What we
said she
taught,
remembers when they changed it, but she doesn't remember exactly. She remembers they changed it. She doesn't remember exactly when it was.
yeah,
But it's different. There's like people in Costa Rica are still taught that the Earth is flat, and in Serbia, I think they're still teaching flat Earth, and
really,
they're still teaching flat Earth around Earth. Check this out. In China,
yeah,
when you pay the tax on your car or home, it's a one-time charge, and then you're never charged again. Okay.
really,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Didn't,
wait, what else? What else is it in China? There's so many things in China that are totally opposite. $20 worth of groceries is enough for the whole family for the week. $20, 20 American dollars.
how I
Okay.
spent like probably like 400 to 600 a week.
Yeah. I spent that
Shit.
in 2 days, right? All right. So let your mind do this. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you zoom in on the moon and you get it into focus with the super zoom camera. I can
okay,
zoom past the moon and it's out of focus.
yeah,
I can zoom back to the moon and focus. I can zoom in front of the moon. It's out of focus. I can do the same with planets too. I can do the same
yeah,
with stars also.
yeah,
Okay. What's interesting is I can zoom in on the moon and then move the camera to a planet and it's perfectly in focus.
yeah.
So check
Love
this
that.
out. So this is the star Sirius, and we zoom in on it, and we can make it this big at full zoom on a P1000. Okay,
Got it. Okay.
it's 8.6 light years away, about 50 trillion miles. You know how far a trillion is? You know how big a
Man,
trillion is?
no, but it's
How long is 1 trillion seconds? Take a guess. If you guess it within 2 weeks, I'll give you $1,000.
a, how long is a trillion seconds?
Yeah, if you guess it within 2 weeks, I'll give you $1,000.
2 weeks.
If it's 2 weeks,
Yeah.
that's close. 31,000 years. Okay. One trillion seconds is 31,000 years. Right. So
Yeah. Okay.
50 trillion
Miles.
miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
We shouldn't be able to see this.
Okay. But I'm able not only to see it, I can zoom it in and make it this big. Right.
Yeah.
But then I could also go to Orion and I could zoom in and make it almost as big.
Yeah.
Almost as big. Right.
Yeah.
It's not twice as far. It's 52 million times farther.
Oh shit. 52 million times
50 trillion
farther than
times
that.
52 million. And
Dave,
I'm able to zoom it in. I shouldn't be able to see it, let alone zoom it in. So Orion would need to be
from our little
52
lenses.
million times bigger than Sirius to look the same size. And forget about the brightness. Light
Yeah.
dissipates. Light spreads out
Yeah.
like sound.
Yeah.
Okay. We wouldn't be able to see it, but they're all stars are basically the same brightness. They're all at the same focus. They never move. They never cross due to parallax, right?
Right.
All the stars are in the same position for all of eternity, all of recorded history,
Yep.
right? Seems
Yep.
like they're fixed in space and close.
Yeah. And Dave, that's what I've been thinking, like with the whole the three pyramids over there in Egypt that are aligned with Orion's belt. I'm like, how do you, centuries whatever ago build this, line them up perfectly, and then like 450,000 whatever years after the fact, they're still like lined up perfectly to it. I don't get it. Well, what's this?
So,
This is like a movie that I saw or something.
so where are the biggest pyramids in the world?
The biggest ones, I
Yeah.
would say underwater.
Okay, so you know that there are other pyramids other than Giza. The
Yeah.
biggest ones they found so far are in, and now I just spacing on the name, Bosnia. And then there's
Bosnia.
there's one town in China that has like 50 pyramids, or their pyramids are everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you
yeah.
saw the news, whether it's true or not, about what's underneath the Giza
Right.
pyramids.
Right. Right.
Hello, people. We don't even know what's going on. This is the
Yeah.
hallway,
Okay.
right? The
Yeah.
ground is the hallway flat.
Yeah. I
It's
would think so.
flat.
Yeah.
It's damn
yeah.
flat. Right. And the ground ramps up to your eye level. The sky ramps down to the vanishing point. The sides ramp in. Okay.
Yeah.
So perspective shows us what a flat floor looks like, right?
Yeah.
So if the earth is curving, that means that the oceans must be curved too. But when we look at the ocean, it has the exact same perspective.
Damn.
If we're on a ball, the farther out you go, the lower the ocean should go. Why is it ramping up like a flat earth would show?
Right. Holy shit, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like Twilight Zone shit right here.
Do you believe in space?
Cool. I don't believe that space exists, to be honest.
So you don't believe we have a rover on Mars?
I don't think so. I don't
You
think
don't think-
I don't think there's another planet. I
So
think show me this.
they're enigmas. NASA's rover discovers bizarre Martian rocks that defy explanation. They sure do defy explanation. Look here and look here.
Grass.
It's a little.
Where's the vegetation coming from? It's supposed to be
there's
bare.
You know what this proves? There's life on Mars.
Well, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it proves. There's life
That's
on
what it
Mars.
proves.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
proves
yeah.
that they've already discovered that there's actually bugs on Mars.
Well, I mean, years ago, what did they say? They said there's nothing on there. Then there was like a drop of water, and then they found some bacteria. Always fast forward to grass.
Yeah.
I think they even said at one point they found a waterfall on Mars too.
It's crazy.
Wow. Dang, how does one miss that? So now do you think this photo is obviously somewhere on Earth, right? Yeah, I mean,
It's somewhere on Earth.
somewhere on Earth.
So I know we're still going, but
No, you good.
So this is from the Curiosity rover. This is Mars. Amazing.
Yep.
Look at
Yep.
the orange sky.
Looks
This couldn't
great.
possibly be on Earth, right?
Right.
Right? You think they could fake something like that? Because I took it, and inside of 10 seconds, I added a sky. So maybe they just added a sky to a shot from Earth, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the moon. Maybe it's the moon. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I did
Maybe.
that again.
Yeah,
I
you
added a
did
black
that.
sky,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
added that with the shadow and everything. That
Right.
took me 30 seconds. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe it's a construction site in New Jersey. Okay. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. So many
Right?
possibilities.
But they
Yeah.
want you to believe that this is Mars.
This is Mars.
Rover took this picture, and the solar panels are working after a dozen years, and they're covered with dust and dirt, and then the next day they're clean. Right? They show one picture covered with dust and dirt,
Yeah.
and then the next day they show it squeegeed clean. They have little marshy squeegee guys out there.
That's a Martian squeezy. I'm thinking, who does the maintenance on these rovers? I mean, 'cause there's nobody there, right? So what happens if a rover gets stuck on a rock? Is that it?
How about they got a drone that flies? And
okay.
it's super cold, super hot, right? And it takes 45 minutes for the signal to get to the drone, and 45 minutes for it to somehow this little thing is transmitting back to Earth. Okay,
That little thing.
yeah, and they're able to fly it. Are you kidding me?
How are they flying it?
They're flying it again and again and again on Mars, and they're showing us pictures.
Well,
and,
there's a building probably on the other side of the photo that you can't see. That they're just they're in their front yard.
It's crazy.
So you're telling me that this little thing, they're saying that little drone is transmitting signal back to Earth.
Maybe it's transmitting a signal back to the rover, and then the rover is sending it back to Earth.
Either way, I mean, I don't care how big of a machine that they have on Mars to be transmitting signals back to us. Like,
Is this Mars?
no,
Is this Mars?
no. Are these real photos?
Is this Mars?
No. Are these real photos, Dave?
These are real photos of Devon Island.
Shut up.
Right?
What is this?
Is this Mars?
No.
The University of Arizona, JPL. What was this one? This is all Devon Island, but it looks just like Mars.
A Mars photo.
Yeah.
So there's nothing on this Devon
This is
Island.
Devon Island, and I added the vanilla sky.
I see.
Right?
My gosh, you can easily
And then
put a rover
I added
on
this
there.
background here. I
Yeah.
added this background. I mean, this.
Yeah.
I did this.
Yeah. Dave went to Mars, guys. He took a photo and brought us back. But I mean, Dave, it makes sense because like with everything else that you've seen that, NASA, I mean, wait a minute, who controls Hollywood? Does NASA control Hollywood? Because NASA seems to be doing a lot of filming.
I think NASA is control of all of the world intelligence agencies, if you ask me. That's my opinion.
I'm with
There's
it.
a lot of evidence for it. I mean, they're the ones that all the big boys have to answer to.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when they need something, NASA calls, their wire team and say, "Hey, we're going to go film something that we're in space,"
So I took this picture of Devon Island and I dropped it into image search, and they came up with all of these NASA Mars photos.
No, really?
I think that's the one. And then they have these on Google Earth. You go down and they have these high def pictures where you
Yeah,
can kind of zoom in,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is wait, I searched and it came up like it was getting confused on which ones were Devon Island. It's showing I'm showing Devon Island and then it's pulling up NASA pictures in the results.
Right. Well, you
Yeah.
know that website, that NASA or whatever gov site that supposedly sends all the pictures from the rover and stuff. So, do you think those thousands of photos that are coming in are just false?
Yeah. They're all fake. It's all
They're all
fake.
fake. They're all fake. Jeez, man.
It's
So
all fake.
there's so basically the moral of the story is that everything that man created is fake.
It's all fake.
It's all fake. So Dave, what would you tell people to then focus on? What's the real focus here? What should we be?
The
Yeah.
focus is on taking back your place in this world, ignoring the lies, seeing the truth, understanding that we are at the center of creation in a soul system built for souls,
Love.
and that God is real, and that there's no shortages. You know, people say, "Well, what difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday." What if you had a device the size of your fist that
Yeah.
would air condition your house to any temperature you'd like in the summer and heat your house to any temperature you like in the winter and power your car for the next 10 generations, and you don't have to refuel it? Yeah. Well, that would change your life, right?
Yeah.
They're hiding that from us. They're
Well, of
hiding
course.
their stuff.
Of course, Dave. I actually believe that we are like 300 years advanced in technology. They're just not giving us those
Yeah.
things, you know? And I also believe that when anytime you hear these agencies trying to go somewhere first, they're not there for exploration. They're there to find what technology they can find. But wait a minute, shit. Now that I say that, Dave, now that I say that out loud from what you've shown me, they're like, I was talking about like Mars, okay? But now that Mars seems like it doesn't really actually exist from what we're
Mars that we
seeing
see in the
here.
sky, I don't even think it's physical. I think I think stars are souls, if you ask me, right?
Like
And
as in
like
like spiritual
souls,
souls?
spiritual souls.
Okay. So we're like seeing souls.
So when you look at a star, right? Today's consumer optics have outgrown their lies, right? So here is where is it? When we zoom in on stars, we see stuff like this. Is that a
Really?
burning ball of gas 100 trillion miles away? 111 trillion miles away?
No.
Okay.
Shit, Dave, you just triggered like a thought in me. So I'm gonna say a name, and you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna say Darius J. Wright. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I know. Now, if just for some of you that do know, if let's say we're looking outside, like of the construct, so to speak, we're looking at the souls out there looking in on us. Like that would be like a star.
So
Yeah.
I did
Oh,
an interview with
yes.
Darius. It's fantastic.
Hey, shoot, I gotta watch that. I
Yeah.
gotta watch that,
And
Dave.
also if you go to the homeschool section, which is the home, I have a whole Darius section in here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you definitely know. Okay, because
And
I know about theirs
he
too.
started
Yeah.
out the podcast with, "I can assure you the earth is flat." That was the first words out of his mouth.
And how did you feel when you heard him say
I
that?
knew it, right? I was like, "All right,
All
right on."
right. All right. All
So,
right. We're starting off right.
yeah, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. And,
I love this. Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely cool. That's yeah. So no, but when you show me the little stars flickering, that made me think of, how he shows the whole construct, and supposedly like souls are outside of it and things like that. That's the image that it gave me
yeah,
of
this is
a soul just
yeah,
looking back down at us.
different stars look differently and they do different things. They have different personalities, if you will.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Damn. Damn, 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 damn. Yeah, we're definitely doing more of this and everything.
And in the Bible, Ezekiel, I think it says the stars are like one of the lines was it was a wheel inside a wheel. A
The
wheel
wheel
inside a wheel, like
and that looks like a wheel inside a wheel.
it does.
Is that a star?
That's a star. That's Arcturus.
But
And you can
and
see
just
that with your
for
naked eye. You can see that with your naked eye. You can't see it in that detail, but you can see the
right,
colors changing.
right, right,
It's
right,
always
right.
low in the horizon, and it's amazing.
And I'm curious. Is this your video? Is this
This
something that
this
you
one
found?
this one might be mine. I have a bunch. Some are some others.
Okay,
Um,
okay. So you have this like huge telescope? Is that what? Is that how you're
no, it's just
grabbing?
a Nikon P1000 super zoom camera, right?
That's
It has
it.
a 125 power zoom. And guess what? They stopped making them because NASA made a
No,
contract with them, so they're making something for
stop saying
NASA.
NASA. Hey, NASA is a four-letter bad word
Never a
now.
straight answer, not a space agency.
Wow, never a straight answer. Holy
NASA.
shit. Hey, but Dave, I love that news one that you told me. Northeast, west,
West,
south.
south. News, steering your mind.
That is crazy. I mean, all of these little acronyms
Yeah.
that you just gave me, I had to rewind all of this stuff. And I know folks, you are either mind blown, you've either pulled over because you were driving and you had to just process this. You've probably have laughed as much as I've laughed during this episode. Whatever the feels that you got, you're welcome. By all means, if you haven't already checked out Dave's website, his YouTube channel, by all means, you are missing out. And like he said 1,000 times, I'm going to add to it the app. Get the app. The app is going to change your life. So if you are curious, get the app. If you're not curious, get the app anyways and just check it out. Challenge yourself. Take yourself outside of your comfort zone because this is just information that you need to possess and
The
then
information that
and discern it.
might not be available for that much longer. All of this
That's
stuff
true.
is, this is on YouTube. Eventually YouTube's going to just wipe out all flat earth stuff. In 2017, we had an apocalypse where they literally wiped out thousands of channels and we lost tons of stuff. But now we back up on Rumble, on BitChute, on Odyssey, and on a blockchain server. So when YouTube shuts everything down, I think it's going to cause a huge problem because people are going to be like, why did they take all this stuff for? It's going to bring more attention to flat earth. But I have everything on a blockchain server. It'll be on the app within a day.
Get the app, folks.
Yeah.
Get the app. You just heard it there because they will. I mean, look how everybody's like, remember when TikTok went down for like a couple of days? Everybody flipped
Couple of
out.
hours. They
Couple
only
of
take them.
hours.
They only take them for a couple hours. You know why? Because they could tell us that the CIA killed JFK. Nobody cares. They could tell us, that they're poisoning people with the jibby jab. Nobody cares. But you take TikTok away, that could start a revolution. People are going to get out of their chairs and riot. So they can only do it for a few hours. And then Trump saved the day. He's like, I got TikTok back.
He's like, I got it, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure I give you guys what you want.
All theater, lies in the news, truth in the movies, lies in the news.
Beautiful. Yeah. Like, folks, okay, look, I'm going to do this really quick. Dave, you already know I love you, man. You are awesome. Like I'm a fan for life now. All right. So people continue to support Dave on whatever he's doing. So support, because like he said, information like this doesn't last for a long time.
This is the key to our freedom. Waking people up to flat earth changes the world. If one super mega viral person like Justin Bieber with 154 million people did one tweet about flat earth properly, the whole world would change, right? It's the control or over all of these people, all of the negativity would be gone. By the way, if I succeed, all governments will fail. All religious institutions will close down. All universities will close down. Okay.
They don't want that.
All of that will have to be retooled.
Yeah. They don't want that. It's a complete chaos just falling, like the Roman Empire, so to speak, Yeah. Damn, man. Oh, Taylor Swift. Hey, Taylor, if for some reason in a blue moon you end up listening to this podcast or Dave's podcast, let us know if you're a flat earther.
I saw a video on a bunch of artists and how they used to be, singing godly, beautiful songs. And then after they signed their deal or whatever, and they just became these evil, satanic, devil worshiping, blood dripping. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
incredible, the transition. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Let me throw something out.
Please,
You
please.
said, if I could tell my younger self what would I do? I said, drop out of school, drop out of regular school, right? If you want to be a plumber, go work for a plumber. If you want to be an orthopedic surgeon, go to medical school for that, right? But if you want to be an accountant, you're wasting your time. If you want to be, but here's the school. And I've been saying this for years, and a bunch of people did it, right? I said, you know, one of the biggest birth control things is college, right? People don't have kids because of college. They're afraid of
Yeah.
college, right? I only had 2 kids because I was like, two in college, that's enough, right? Right. And that's that. Otherwise, I would have had more, right? But college is the biggest scam ever. College is to keep you a debt slave, to indoctrinate you more. You learn, like, I learned social skills in college, and I learned some good stuff, but nothing I couldn't have not learned without spending all that money. But Crow 777 Radio. Are you familiar with Crow?
I'm not.
The double R, CRROW 777radio.com. It is one of the greatest podcasts. I've been a subscriber for years. It's a 2-hour podcast once a week, and just audio, so you can listen to it while you're working out, whatever you're doing. And it goes on everything from living free to health, survival to mind stuff to flat earth to sun work. It's amazing. And so I said, "This is what you do: get a couple of kids that are supposed to go to school, rent them a house somewhere, like out on Cape Hatteras somewhere, and their assignment is, there's like 400 old episodes. Listen to 4 old episodes and 1 new episode every week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's 2 hours a day. You can do it while you're gardening. You can do it while you're kite surfing. You can do it while you're riding a bike. You can do it while whatever, right? And after a couple of months, those kids are going to be more prepared for this world than any college would get them ready for. A
Damn.
bunch of people did it, and they said their kids are now hired. The kids are like, yeah, I'm going to go to college because that's what I'm supposed to do. Now they're like coming up with ideas. They want to start businesses, and now they have this extra money to help their kid along. And it's phenomenal. Crow 777 Radio. It's in the app, CRROW 777radio.com. It's a 2-hour podcast. The first hour is free. Second hour is if you're a subscriber. It's super cheap. And compared to college, it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I highly, highly, highly recommend that. Why? Because it's friggin' awesome.
I
never
love
miss an
that.
episode.
And it says ages 14 through 120.
Yeah. Actually, I could probably lower that to 10. Maybe 14. Maybe 14.
That
I didn't
is
even know I put that.
beautiful.
That's pretty funny. I did that a long time ago.
Yeah. No, there's a reason for all of that.
Yeah.
But this is so informative. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm going to be getting this app today, and I'm going to just be marking stuff down to say, okay, I gotta watch this and schedule it. Again, still try to live your life, guys, and feed the family and go to work and everything. But this
one trick on the app: most of the videos are on YouTube, most of them. So if you have your YouTube app logged in to your account, so you go on the app, you hit it. It opens up the YouTube app, and now it's in your history. So now you can go to your TV or computer. You can remember where you are. If you want to get halfway through one, it'll remember where you were. And so you can start adding it to your playlist and stuff. So it's super easy to integrate with your social media, whatever you want to call it, with your viewing habits.
Like what does this app not do? I mean, does it make coffee? Does it give you a massage? Like,
it doesn't do those 2 things, but it does more. It does more. And the whole referral thing is super fun too. Like if you go into the friend finder and then you open up right here, the middle button, that shows you these are how many people you've referred to the app, right? There'll be a random number here, right? So you click the pencil, you can change it. So you can change yours to Caesar, right? Whatever you want. And then when you're telling someone about the app or you're showing them something, let's say here's someone saying, what about perspective? I don't understand perspective. So you can just type in perspective, right? And now you have all of these perspective images here. You can explain how the sun goes down, the street lights, whatever. And everyone goes, where do I get that app? And you say, oh, you tell them where to get it, right? And then they say, when you get it, use my referral code. And then you'll get a point and 1,000,000 dome cryptocurrency. It'll automatically come right to you.
done.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
And
I love that.
and then you get 11 points, you get your subscription for free or whatever. And then if we look at the leaderboard, this is showing us, oops,
Who's doing the most
it's showing you,
referraling?
yeah, yeah. So these are the top 100 or
All
so
right.
people.
Who's
And
number one?
number one is Caleb from TikTok. And coming on his heels is my lunch break.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, he's got a little ways to go.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah,
Damn.
cool, man in
How long
America,
have you worked on this app? How many years?
2018.
Really? And you've gotten
Yeah.
this far.
Yeah,
What
well,
I mean, what's next on this app, Dave? What's like
There,
what do you
there's so much more coming. There's so much more coming. There's going to be in your profile, you're going to be able to put down all the keywords of what you do, right? The big thing was, oh, good luck in a job, flat earther, no one's going to hire you. Now, flat earthers only want to hire other flat earthers and do work with other flat earthers. So if you type in real estate, Florida, Justin Harvey will come up, who's a big time flat earther, truther. And so people are doing real estate with him. Right? If you put in
beautiful?
solar power, Florida, Anthony Conklin will come up. He does solar power, flat earther. So check this out. I need someone to do some carpentry in my house. I want someone to build a cabinet. And I got 10 applicants, right? Forget I'm not even using the app. And they're all almost equally as good. But one of them's a flat earther. Who am I hiring?
Flat earther.
Of course. Of course.
That's it.
Okay? Right.
That's it.
Yeah, because they're open. They think alike and everything. So again, that's just the beta of that is up right now. But we're gonna have it where you can really fill in what you do. Like, hey, I'm a massage therapist and I work within this area. Someone could say, hey, I'm looking for a massage. Oh, look, there's somebody 2 miles away. And we're gonna also add it's called a flat B&B.
Flat B&B.
B&B.
What's that?
So that's where you can find a place to rent, like an Airbnb, but it's from a flat earther. It's from a flat earther.
What's the B&B though? Oh, no, breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. Bed and breakfast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got lost with the whole flat B&B thing. Airbnb, flat B&B. I'm with
something like that. So we're gonna do that because you know what? Like, hey, if you rent your place out, if you have a room you rent out, what's better than having a flat earther stay with you? You probably
why not? You guys can talk it up all night and everything.
Damn
Dave,
right.
what's so cool is your app brings so many people together in so many different ways.
That's why
that's
they hate
the beautiful
me.
thing. You guys can, people can meet the love of their life, can meet friends that they would have never met. You guys can meet up as groups. If you have no friends and just sent out a meetup, on this app,
person goes up. One person,
new best friend. And that's that. And then now you have, for looking for a job, because a lot of these employers, they want to make sure that they vibe with you, right? They want to make sure that they get along with you.
So here's the other thing. The employers are looking, you're like, I'm out there, like someone looks at, if I went to apply for a job and they're like, think flat earth is crazy, I'm gonna have a hard time getting a job with them. Guess what? I don't want to work for them anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I don't want to work for them anyway, but it's changing. More and more people are waking up. So flat earth is going to be the norm instead of the outlying thought.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth. It's the truth, What's popular is rarely true, and what's really true is popular. What popular is really true, and what's true is really popular. But that's changing. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Damn. Yo, I'm super freaking excited about this.
All right. Caesar, thanks, brother.
And folks, again, I'm going to remind you again, subscribe if you're watching me on YouTube or Rumble. If you're hearing me on Spotify or Apple or Spreaker, give me those 5 stars because the algorithm helps to go all the way to the moon and back, right?
They call us tinfoil hats.
Yeah.
Right? I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. It's got silver lining in it. It's a Faraday cage, right?
It's already built in.
It's called Sparrow. It's by Matt Landman, who he made the movie Frankenskies. But if you go to the shopping section on the app, right here, Sparrow Clothing, great hats. They've got shorts, everything. It's all silver lined, and it just blocks all of the frequencies. So I meant to say that before, so I wanted to say it. And the reason I'm plugging it is not because I don't make any money off of it. I have no idea what he sells. Right. And there's a discount code in there. I think it's Flat Earth or something. But I do it because it's awesome and I want other people to have it. When I put this hat on, that's the only thing I don't like about summer is that I can't wear this hat.
Because it gets really hot, I'm sure,
Yeah,
right?
it's hot. Yeah, absolutely.
No, but I like that. I've thought about that with the whole tinfoil stuff, but to put it inside a beanie,
Dude, and this is a
perfect.
super comfy beanie. It's amazing. They've got thin ones also. They got all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. I love it. And when I put it on, I could definitely feel the less radiation because I
Yeah.
do have
The
Wi-Fi.
whole the
I'm in
whole
a condo
EMF stuff.
complex. Yeah, I'm in a condo complex, so there's EMF everywhere. So
Okay, so
it's really good,
it does protect your
dude.
brain, does it?
100%, 100%. I put
Wow.
my phone in it, and then my phone
Yeah.
won't receive a call.
Really? What
Yeah,
do you does your shop or does that shop also sell hats as well
they
with
might.
the
You got to
layer?
check it out. Yeah, check it out. It's
Okay.
on the app in the shopping cart section.
What a great
Sparrow
idea.
clothing, I think, or
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because I had those EMF blockers all over the place, but I didn't know you can put it on your clothes, which is oh look, okay, so yeah, I
yeah.
see beanies. Wait, shirts too?
There's shirts, there's shorts. I these are great shorts.
Shit.
Yeah, cool stuff. They got all sorts of. They must have.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure
must
they
have
have
hats.
hats. Damn. Okay, sure. I might call them up to see if I can get my logo on one of their hats and stuff. So that'd be kind of cool too. Interesting. Awesome. So again, guys, I love you. I hear you. I see you. I am you. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain and take a deeper look. Push forward. Always reaching beyond the frequency.